and here we go. Last week's win against the Sandra Day O'Connor's Eagles was not the prettiest win by any means, but JP, we're 3-0 on the year, and we play against another 3-0 team, that being the Salpointe Catholic Lancers. And looking back at last week too, O'Connor's got them 2 stud tackles, Tucker Smith and Jaden Maxey, both of which have D1 offers.
Absolutely. So
what neutralized them?
You know, respect to those guys. I mean, you know, I think preparation comes into a big play there. You know, us coaches as a coaching staff, the players buying into the preparation throughout the week, you know, watching film, going out there in the chalk walks and just buying into the team sessions and the inside run sessions and blitz pickup sessions. Those guys just really came through with what we needed to do.
And he also played against Jeremy Adonju, which, you know, it was a little scary in the first half. You know, he was slicing and dicing up that defense a little bit.
That cutback.
Yeah, that cutback was just absolutely nasty. But in the second half, you know, everybody kind of calmed down and they focused on their individual assignments.
Absolutely.
And what'd you do to stop that? Like, what adjustments were made at halftime just so you could stop Jeremy Adonju?
Just know we got to have the guys in the box and the run fit being proper, right? Like, we want guys patient on the backside. You know, run goes away, it's slow play, you know what I mean? Run comes at you, we want to hit that thing fast. And just knowing where our run fits are and just being disciplined in those fits, right? Like not being one to run away after a few seconds of holding your gap down, right? Like just staying patient, trusting that guy next to you that he's going to do his job so that way we can do our job.
Yeah, bro, it is a team game.
Right.
Now let's go to our next segment, a staple in the Line Pride pregame show scene. JP?
The Pick'ems.
The Pick'ems.
Come on now.
So the first matchup on our list is going to be the Queen Creek Bulldogs versus the Centennial Coyotes. Queen Creek is 3-0, and they face their biggest test of the year so far. Centennial dropped a 70-burger on the Desert Ridge Jaguars. I have Queen Creek by 10. Tate Reynolds is a very, very talented quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Tate Reynolds, we call him Superman over here. The guy is very, very... could just take over a game, right? Be that X factor in a game. But I don't know, Centennial's on that vengeance, right? Like they're always just a top tier team and they're looking to get in that open conversation as well. I got Centennial 31-24. No disrespect to my boys down there in Queen Creek, but I think Centennial pulls that one off.
Alrighty, moving on to the next matchup being the Basha Bears and the Mountain View Toros. I hate to say this, but Mountain View's looking like a pretty solid program. Both teams are doing great on their schedule in terms of talent. This one, I have a weird feeling that it's going to be a toss-up. I have them winning by 7.
Ooh.
Basha Bears.
Okay.
And you, JP?
I can never ever pick Mountain View, that's for sure. Not even how well they are playing or have been the last few years. I think Mountain View's O-line looks a little different this year. They're always going to be tough, right? Andy Litton did a really well job with those guys last year, just having them hungry and ready to prepare to strike when they needed to strike. Basha, though, I mean, those guys, nationally ranked team, these guys are just on a roll. I mean, I think Basha comes up 44-24. Brady Goodman does some good things in the first half. I think they have a little bit of a back and forth battle that first half, but then Basha pulls away like they did against Williamsfield.
Segue to the Williamsfield-Chandler game. The Blackhawks are certainly a team to watch in the 6A bracket. They won the 6A bracket in the ASU 7-on-7s tournament this summer. Q Skilling's a talented running back. Dominic Barjona, a talented quarterback. Also, that's a power duo you really want to see on Friday nights. I got Williamsfield by 3 in this one. I think this is going to be an upset.
I think me and you are on the same page there. I think like how kind of you were talking about Mountain View being kind of that trap team for Basha. I think Williamsfield is the trap game for Chandler. And I think Williamsfield comes out on top by 3, 31-28. You talked about Q Skillings and Dominic. I know Q Skillings pretty well, and his family's just a great family. And if I know any of those guys are going to be ready to roll, Q's going to be ready to roll. And it's going to be a big upset loss for Chandler.
Let's go to our newest segment on the Lion Pride pregame show, Let's head to pad level.
Shoot, give me some pad level. I want this high
off the ground.
Coach
6
Kelly.
inches off the ground.
Get him in the chutes. Let's go. What's the topic today? What we got today?
The topic today is tailgate foods. Ones that you see at the big lawn at State Farm Stadium. The big potluck.
You know we're going with
brings
the
out the
Rungy special.
people. The Rungy special. What is
The Rungy special.
What's the Rungy special?
The Glizinators. Come on now. You know Rungo and the team, like we like ourselves a good. Did you not see the game day pregame shirt that we all had, our whole coaching staff? Coach Kevin made a beautiful, beautiful shirt of Coach Rungy. He's riding on the scooter, and it says 2 dogs, 1 bun up here, and he's got his bag of hot dogs just ready to roll. And you know, Coach Rungy loves himself a good hot dog after a baseball win or a football win. And so, you know, that's definitely up there in the top 5, top 3.
This is definitely news for me because I thought his special was the pick 6 pie. You know?
Don't get me wrong, the pick 6 pie is definitely up there on it, but number 1 is definitely a good glizzy. It's definitely a good glizzy for old Rungo.
Upon further deliberation, we have our top 3. JP, what's your number 3?
My number 3 has definitely got to be the Epic, the corn dog. Give me a good deep fried corn dog. Can't go wrong with that. You've definitely seen that at the tailgate. You know, what's your number 3?
My number 3, you know, I'm going to speak into existence on my rankings. I'm a big barbecue guy.
Oh, I love it.
Big barbecue fan. I'm going to go with the pulled pork. It's just, it's a very versatile food, okay?
Yeah.
You can put it on a sandwich, and you can just have it by itself.
Okay.
I mean,
are you going like extra sauce, light sauce? What are we doing here?
I'm going to go medium sauce.
Ooh, is it like sweet and tangy? Is it like barbecue?
Sweet and tangy barbecue is the way to go.
Classic. I'm more like a sweet and spicy guy. I like a good
whatever
spice
sauce they use at Big Nate's Barbecue.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
You're talking to Big Nate right here.
Oh yeah. What's your number 2, JP?
Oh, I gotta go. Give me some cattle corn. Cattle corn will be all right. Give me the sweet and salty, you know, just something good, something you can share with the fam, you know.
Yeah, and you not only can get it at a tailgate, you can get it inside the game too.
That's what I'm saying. Freshly cooked, popped outside, and then, I mean, once you're done with it, you go back inside and go get one.
That's a smart ranking there. My number 2, I mean, it's a cult classic at almost every bar in the United States.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the classic chicken wing. Okay.
Are we a flat guy or are we a drum guy?
I'm gonna go with a flat.
Come on now, like
Now,
90% of America.
Let's talk about the dimensions of a flat wing, okay?
Oh, let's go. Here we go.
There's not as much meat on the bone, right? But in terms of versatility, you can hold it with 2 hands. Okay.
You don't do the one hand?
Oh no, I can't do that.
And just,
right
off?
I can't do that.
You don't want to do the old Jameis Winston, eat the dub?
That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W.
And moving on to number 1, the top spot. What's your number 1?
My number 1, if you ever had Coach Andriotis's beef brisket, it's definitely got to be the barbecue beef brisket for me, especially smoked, right? Like you get a good smoking on that guy. It's tailgate, right? You get that thing going in the morning with some good pellets. You get that smoke going. I mean, that just sets the tailgate mood, right? Like you got to set the vibes. It's got to be brisket.
My number 1 is a popular choice, okay? It's gonna be the barbecue ribs.
I want my baby back ribs. I mean, if you don't cook that thing right, though, I've been around some bad cooked ribs. You got to really cook that thing right to really get that tenderness, right? That fall off the bone, right?
Yeah.
Them things got to be smoked. You ever seen somebody try to cook ribs in the oven?
No, I have not.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, this was a very, very, very educated discussion about food, but it's time we go back to football.
We get back to the right side of the field.
Yeah. Making the drive from Tucson is the Salpointe Catholic Lancers, 3-0 on the year, and some may make the case that they haven't played a good team yet.
Yeah. Well, some can make that case for us too, right? Like, I think Bruce Buffer said it best over the weekend with the Canelo fight. Someone's got to go. Let's go to work, man. You know Friday night we're going to be ready.
Now, Salpointe, well, they are a good team. They're in 6A. Probably They are the best team in Southern Arizona. Now, JP, you coach the linebackers. That is correct. And what are you trying to do to contain Matthew Avalar in this game? Because he's one of the most talented quarterbacks in Southern Arizona at the moment.
Yeah, just knowing, when we're sending our 5-6 man pressures that we get home and we have correct rush lane integrity, right? And just knowing who our check guys are and who our spy guys are and being able to perform that correctly, right? Like, because that quarterback is pretty good and he's been able to extend plays past the pocket, and that's kind of where he gets a lot of his shine. And so I would say out of the last 3 weeks, DeWitt's pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I think this will be the best mobile quarterback we face in the first 4 weeks. So this will be a big test for us. They're going to run the ball, right? They got those 2 running backs that are pretty good, and they're going to feed off those guys and then look to open it up in the pass game with Matt. And as long as we maintain our rush lane integrity and we're disciplined up front and not losing contain or leverage and, just keeping him in the wraps, I think will be our key to the game there,
Yeah, so we got Avalar covered, and then we have RJ Gorey covered, and then we got the third guy being Chris Chaney, who before airing the pregame show, you said he had 10.6 speed.
Yeah, that's the slot guy. Yeah, that guy's pretty quick. You get him in space. They like to get him on some dip concepts, some spot and spacing concepts, maybe even work him in the screen game. But the kid is fast, right? Like, he gets in the open, you get him in space, and he makes one guy miss, and away he goes, you know what I mean? So
this may apply to like different coverages, but let's say Chaney runs an out or runs an in route, so to speak. Is the linebacker's job more so to get his hands on him, kind of throw him off his route a little bit, or is it just a kill shot you want to just off the route?
Yeah, it definitely depends on what coverage. We try to teach our outside backers, Cole, for instance, right? Like, they want to run that RPO stuff. We teach them to be patient, right? Certain reads will tell them to be patient. And then, just knowing whether if we're in man or zone and being able to match that first threat that shows up.
Alrighty, keep an eye on the linebackers tonight, that being Cole Edmonds, Jamison Wade, and Jackson White, as well as Cade Gadare, and then maybe a few others. Yeah. And next week, we're paying an old friend a visit.
Oh, yeah. Come on now. Take him to the woodshed.
Again.
Take him to the woodshed. We're going to, I just got goosebumps.
Oh, it's cold. It's cold in here.
A little chilly.
Hold on.
Is it December yet?
No, not yet. Things are just heating up though.
Oh,
my name is Nate Smith. This is JP, and we'll see you next time on the Lion Pride pregame show.
You know what it is?
Week 4 of the Arizona high school football season has arrived, and Jim Jones Field has a beautiful matchup for us tonight as the Salpointe Catholic Lancers make the trip from Tucson to Mesa, Arizona to take on the Red Mountain Mountain Lions. Greetings and welcome, everybody. Alongside Nate Smith, I'm Zach Warhack. A battle of the undefeateds tonight, Nate. Pat Ryden leads his team up the hill. What are you looking for tonight from that offense of Salpointe?
Honestly, I'm looking for RJ Gorey, Chris Chaney, and Matthew Avalar, one of the best quarterbacks in Southern Arizona, and it's the battle of the unbeatens. Like Bruce Buffer said, and JP, somebody's O has to go tonight.
On the flip side of things for Red Mountain, a huge win last week against O'Connor, and it was something that was off the back of the defense and special teams. For more on that performance from Tyreek Cornett with a punt return for a touchdown to seal the deal, we will head down shortly to our guy on the sideline, Rome Cady, as we await the run out from the Red Mountain Mountain Lions. But Nate, let's talk about the defense. Jamison Wade, Cole Edmonds, that linebacking core, huge game last week.
Yeah, overall, that pass rush was just rejuvenated. They were getting home, something that they struggled week 1 against the Patriots. And overall, it was kind of the flip side. The offense really struggled. 2 turnovers on the opposite side of the ball. Caleb Joe and that offense really didn't get much going there, but special teams and defense really made up for that, scoring 2 touchdowns in the process.
And they'll have a tall task tonight. 6 wins combined between these 2 undefeated squads to start the season. As you see the home team, Red Mountain, take the field, blacked out on the top with the red pants on the bottom. And it's an exciting matchup. Both teams don't know what they're going to be set up to get in the true level of competition between the 2 of them. Now that the bright lights are back up on the field, we can see that beautiful face and go down to Rome Katie to talk about last week's performance. We'll see if we can get back up to Rome here shortly. In the meantime, captains ready to rock and roll, get out onto the field. One of those that we mentioned, Jamison Wade, but also Josh Lee that you see out there, number 70, very versatile. He takes a role on this offensive line, but also defensively, you'll see him step in, take snaps, and do big things for this squad. A lot of versatility, offense, defense, special teams. We have Rome Katie down on the sideline to talk about that.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good to be back with you here for another week of Red Mountain football. And I want to take you guys back to that 14-7 road win against the O'Connor, and that bumped Red Mountain's record up to 3-0, ended that 8th seed in the rankings according to Max Preps along with the state. And I had a chance to talk with Coach Kyle Enders about how his team has been able to keep a level head throughout this week of practice. And he said this team is just really humble, and they really do a good job of turning the page and heading on to the next game on their own without having much teaching or coaching to do on that part. And I also got the chance to talk about the guy that you mentioned a million times so far in this open, Tyreek Cornett, and how talented he is on all 3 phases of the game for this team with Coach Kyle Enders. And he said that it's really just because he's so talented at the special team spot, coaches really have to prepare for that on the opposing side of things. And then although he's a little bit banged up tonight, you're going to see him in the slot and in the Wildcat formations as well for this Red Mountain offense. So should be a fun one here at Jim Jones Field tonight. Beautiful night here. We'll send it back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Rome. You talk about being banged up, and we have a lot of that on the Red Mountain roster. Your week-to-week bumps and bruises that we see, Nate, but the big loss in the secondary, Chayton Jennings with a broken bone in the leg.
Yeah, talking to Kyle Enders, they said it was a broken tibia. Sophomore guard Lyles, number 41, is set to fill in for him. And then they got another injury in the backfield, that being Juice Maiola, out with a torn ACL. You know, it's a really big thing that coaches say before every game. Their goal is to stay healthy, because realistically, I mean, any team, you don't want an injury. But staying healthy is a priority through the rest of the year.
And it's been a big challenge for that Red Mountain backfield, because you talk about Juice Maiola going down, Abnell Lazzarini a little bit banged up as well, who would be the standard starter tonight. But the first game of the season, you lose guys like Vinny Coffey and Nevin Fitzgerald. So it's really been the next man up mentality for this running back room.
Yeah, but once again, we got to mention the depth in the running back room. 8 running backs on this roster. Like you said, it's a next man up mentality.
A toss-up between the 2 teams, both back to their sidelines. Salpointe getting ready to rock and roll, and it's a conversation that's had time and time again throughout the media of what are these guys really, right? When you're down in a different city so far away from quote-unquote Phoenix in general and playing that football, a lot of traveling that they do, and they see these tough opponents. They made a run in the playoffs last year, eventually knocked out 41-10 by Mountain View, but it's a squad who's been competitive and kept things tight.
Yeah, 100%. And Pat Ryan didn't even mention it's always been a Tucson versus Phoenix rivalry. Salpointe can compete with anybody in Arizona, as a matter of fact. And the rankings in, teams in South AZ go number 1, Salpointe. Number 2, there's a gap. And then number 3, you have the Marana and Tucson Magnets of the region.
Troy Kuhlman ready to get things underway, and not oftentimes you're talking about special teams in a broadcast, but Tyreek Cornett and the ability he has makes an impact on the game, and that's something that you'll see time and time again throughout the rest of the season. The way he can find a lane and run a ball, coaches do not want to kick to him.
Yeah, if Troy Coleman keeps putting the ball into the back of the end zone, Cornett's not going to have a chance to return it, and that's a good sign for Salpointe.
And we'll see just how this offense of Red Mountain responds this week behind offensive coordinator Brian McDaniel and Caleb Joe under center at the quarterback position. They only produced one touchdown a week ago against O'Connor, and it was a quarterback sneak by Caleb Joe. The other points and the game winner came from that Tyreek Cornett punt return for a touchdown. Joe out of the pistol on first down to start this game. Carry on first down, and it is Darius Grayson Courts, and a nice gain of 6 on first down. We didn't know what we were going to get at the running back position with Abnell Lazzarini being a little banged up, if he was going to try and fight through the pain or not, but a good pickup on first down.
Yeah, we see the depth on Red Mountain on full display. Darius Grayson Courts, he's their third-string running back. And if you are an offensive line coach, you really want to play your hardest in this one. You never know who's going to be in the backfield. Just do your individual assignment and good things will happen.
And Grayson Courts goes behind Josh Lee as well as Cole Beatty. And then you get the left side of Yosenis and Jonathan Brooks. Pass on this down, and Arian Wyndham has his first reception of the evening. And he gets a pop from Alan Dion, one of the captains of this Salpointe defense.
Yeah, Alan Dion, he was playing behind Nathan Spivey last year. Leader in interceptions last year. And Red Mountain likes running those screen plays.
They go up tempo here after they pick up the first and swing this one out to Jay Williams. So already 3 different players with their hands on the ball tonight for Red Mountain. A lot more productive than what we saw a week ago against O'Connor.
Just a great job by King Robinson on the outside. He blocked his defender to the ground. There wasn't a hold. There wasn't a kill shot. More like a finesse block.
So Red Mountain all the way out to their own 39 already to start this drive. And a little dink and dunk in the passing game. You wait to see if they open things up. They go back behind the line of scrimmage. That could be a live ball for Jay Williams. It trickles out of bounds. And it looks like our officials end up spotting it as a fumble and a loss. And they bring the sticks back to the 30. So the original line of scrimmage is where this play gets lost to.
Yeah, it looked like a swing pass.
Just a little miscue between Caleb Joe and Jay Williams. Our head linesman, Derek Deerdorf, makes the spot this time around. Well, we see it week 1, we see it week 2, and we see it week 3. Isaac Moyle jumps off sides thanks to the Caleb Joe hard count, and that'll make things a little bit more manageable for this Red Mountain offense.
Yes, those early season jitters, the offsides, all the pre-snap penalties. You see them a lot in the NFL. The most common penalty is the false start, the offsides, encroachment. All of those to be ironed out later in the year.
Makes it 3rd down and 5, and Joe scrambles out of the pocket, finds a block from Anise as well as Josh Lee. And smart to get down after a pickup of the first down, and the chains move again.
Just a great job at using his legs and smartly sliding. And just good job by the big fellas going up the field.
Back to the ground with Grayson Courts. Tries to find a little bit of a gap, but that's bottled up quickly by Chris Cheney. And I love a good high school football player who can play 2 ways. I know oftentimes with how talented these kids are nowadays, you see a lot of specialists who only stay on one side of the ball, but plenty of them go both ways still, and it's just really fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Guess you could say like Desmond Howard really pioneered that kind of play style.
You love the classic name game of older ball players, don't you? Your mind is beyond your age. Every time I talk to you, I hear about Mike Allstott and now Desmond and all these guys. You got a memory bank up there.
You can name random football players for hours. To be honest, you can make a whole game out of it.
It's the best game. Just hanging out and chatting. Seeing what kind of pulls you can get from old players. 3rd down and 9 in the present. Joe takes the snap out of the gun and has to escape the pocket. The pressure gets there. He has to throw it away. Right on his backside was Brian Melton to force him to toss that one out of bounds. And we see the special teams unit of Red Mountain trot onto the field.
Chase Pitzer in punt formation for the Mountain Lions.
Chase Pitzer, one of the top kickers in the state of Arizona, out to punt. A big leg, regardless of where you have him in the special teams unit. His own side of the field, punting it away this time around.
You want to talk about two-way players. Brian Melton, outside linebacker. He was from the far side of the offensive line. He was the one that ended up making the play. Also plays running back for the Lancers.
RJ Gorey, a lethal return man as well in his own right. Back to receive. Waves this one initially and loses the ball. Able to hang on to it. And Cade Goodare gets home to make the tackle. So that one is a little bit of gut check time early on, almost coughing up the first possession that Salpointe could have.
A little bit of a jump scare. And I know you said this in the last game against O'Connor. The one place where you don't want the ball to go is right straight to you.
It'll be the 27-yard line to start this drive for Salpointe. As the officials get some things sorted out early on here, we take a little bit of a TV timeout. And with a 0-0 score awaiting Salpointe's first possession, we'll step away on RMTV.
Whitewater recommends and reminds you to stay refreshed. Please contact Whitewater for all your water needs. Whitewater provides chemicals that Pregame. Courtesy Auto, Compound Crystal Dodge Jeep, Ram, Kia, or Nissan, conveniently located off Superstition Springs Boulevard and US 60. Go Mountain Lions. DD26 Fishing is a brand you can trust. We spare no expense when it comes to quality, design, and service. Let's go Red Mountain Football. High-quality flooring and bath remodels provides customers with the best quality and craftsmanship, and is a proud sponsor of Red Mountain Football. Chick-fil-A on Power and McKellar. Chick-fil-A home of music and sandwich. Football. And our family sponsor is Chuck Fine Meat. Quality meats for all your green needs. Family-owned, located at McKellar. Power. Great people and great service. Continued proud sponsor of Red Mountain Football. Today's game is being televised by Cox Channel 4 and streaming live on Cox.yourview.com. Never miss a moment of action when you catch games on Yourview on your mobile device. Each week, Chris Harris, Dale Hillestrand, and Kate Longford brings into the Valley Sports Matchup for the home.
A good stop on the opening drive from Salpointe's defense. Sets the offense up at their own 27 as Matthew Avalar takes the field for the first time tonight. And a team that's been happy putting up points this season. 34 against Saguaro last week, and 2 weeks ago, another 30 against Tucson Mag. Go to the air on first down over the middle, and an open receiver tracked down around midfield. But a big splash play to open things up on the opener. Ben Pruitt with a big catch.
Well, Cade Goodare was just right there and had Matthew Avalar held onto the ball for just a millisecond. Would have been a sack in the backfield on the first play. And then Avalar just makes a great read over the middle.
They open things up through the air on first down, and ball spotted directly at midfield. And Avalar, the junior, already 4 touchdown passes on the season to complement 585 yards. They go play action and swing it out to Gorey. He's met quickly by Lyles, the replacement for Chayton Jennings. And a big stop that time around by Lyles.
So this is going to be a little interesting. Are they going to target the youngin, guard Lyles early in this game, kind of get him on his heels a little bit? Are they going to target that weak spot in the secondary?
You know, despite it being the first start for him, he's seen plenty of play time in games this season with Jennings coming in and out of the lineup. Salpointe to the ground for the first time tonight as Chris Cheney carries it for a pickup of 2. The interior of Red Mountain have been something big time to talk about this season. They had a really tall task last week, and they were able to slow things down at the helps of that guy, To'a, as well as James McGee.
Yeah, that's your power duo on the defensive line right there. Toa and James McGee, who I consider the most underrated guys on this offense. You know, we talk a lot about Jamison Wade, but that defensive line has some star power.
Red Mountain catch a break on 3rd and 5 as David Rushing just dropped that pass. He had the sticks, the line to gain, and instead teams change special teams units out onto the field as Salpointe get ready to punt. Ball spotted at the Red Mountain 45. Cornett sets up at his own 5.
Gonna bring some pressure.
They do just that. Jamison Wade gets through and picks up the block. This team has done it on special teams in all aspects of the game. Cole Edmonds with a game-winning blocked field goal against ALA, and now Jamison Wade gets in on the act with a punt block.
Well, Josh Barge was calling plays like a defensive coordinator against O'Connor, drawing up pressures. And he's going to do that with Jamison Wade.
Just ignites a spark of energy for this offense.
You can see number 49.
Briggs Wiltbank gets the recovery on it off the Wade punt block. High snap, Joe able to handle it, and Grayson Courts has a few nice chunk runs tonight as he gets out for a pickup of 6.
I know it's really early into the game, but that punt block may swing this game in favor of Red Mountain.
Well, the offense was a little bit slowed down last week by O'Connor, so you need a little bit of confidence to get back in the swing of things, especially up in front of a home crowd.
And it gives the offense an opportunity to score, too.
Back to the ground on 2nd down, and Darius Grayson Courts cuts back. A little bit of an awkward tackle that time around, but he's able to get up after O.J. Flores provides a pop.
I don't know what wide receivers coach Diego Hernandez is telling his receivers, but they're blocking like tight ends. I mean, you see Arion Wyndham right here. He's going to block his guy, practically eliminating him from the play.
A hat on a hat is usually what you see with the offensive linemen, but it's extending out to the receivers here as Red Mountain pick up the 1st down. They go back to the ground here, and Grayson Courts met by O.J. Flores on back-to-back plays.
Tackled by O.J. Flores.
The defense of Salpointe has been a sight to see so far this season. Just a week ago against Saguaro, 6 forced fumbles in that one game alone. No, I am not making that up.
6 forced fumbles.
A huge proponent to the victory.
People wonder why Saguaro won by 3 points. Think about that game. Had they got just 1 forced fumble.
Timeout is called by Red
Timeout
Mountain.
taken out on the field by Red Mountain, the first one that they've spent for the evening. And the drive just getting started for this Red Mountain Mountain Lions team. And it's just, we go back to talking about the special teams and the impact that they've had on this team. A lot of times throughout the state in high school football, there's a unit that sets your team apart, right? Well, some of those stellar teams, top 10, it's like, wow, they have a great offense. Their defense is stellar. Red Mountain able to do it in the 3rd level that no one really talks about.
Yeah, absolutely. They're good in all 3 levels of the game. You know, we talk about teams that, okay, yeah, they have a good offense. Oh, they have a good defense. There's not really a definitive best position group like offense, defense, special teams. Red Mountain's just good at everything. If I were to highlight one position, though, I'd say I'd go with the linebackers.
Make an impact time and time again throughout the game for this Red Mountain squad. And on top of it, you see the linebackers jump in on the special teams unit as Jamison Wade is the one who has the punt block this time around.
Yeah, just Kyle Enders is really good at utilizing his players in different ways, using Jamison Wade in the special teams game and all the defensive starters.
Late substitution as Carlos Jonas comes off of the field for Salpointe. And it's been a quiet evening so far for the nose tackle, Noah Bonyi. He's one of the best players for this team, a captain on the defensive side. And Red Mountain's interior have done a nice job slowing him down on the pass rush. Grayson Courts with the carry up the right side, follows Yosenis, unable to spit out for more than a gain of a couple. Salpointe really just flying around. Emilio Molina with the stop this time. But they're just making really good tackles in the run game. There's no second effort, second chances for Darius Grayson Courts just yet. First guy that gets there is able to make the stop for Salpointe.
Oh, believe me, when one guy is going to miss a tackle, Darius Courts is off to the races.
Play action from Caleb Joe, and it works out spectacularly. He takes the deep shot. Got it!
Boom!
Touchdown, Red Mountain! King Robinson!
We've seen him uncork a similar touchdown pass against the Patriots week 1. King Robinson is just going to run a corner route. And it's just such a difficult route to cover when you're a defensive back. Gets you put in an awkward position.
Chase Pitzer capitalizes on the extra point to make it 7-0, and a 33-yard touchdown reception for King Robinson puts Red Mountain on top 7-0 with 4:53 left in the first on RMTV. A 33-yard pitch and catch between Caleb Joe and King Robinson has Red Mountain on top 7-0 early in the first quarter. And that's the first reception for a touchdown by King Robinson this season. Took him 4 weeks, but it feels like it's just a matter of time, and Caleb Joe making a nice toss over the top. Line drive from Pitzer this time around as he tests the return unit, and Gorey with the scoop. Gorey with a little bit of a lane up the middle out to the 24.
So speaking on that last touchdown, King Robinson's going to go inside and then run a corner route. And watch this cornerback. He's going to get put in an awkward position. That's a burst corner. And as you're covering that, you're not supposed to give up the inside.
And on top of the great route ran by King Robinson, it's the setup in the mind game by Brian McDaniel, right? Been pounding the rock early, you open up the play action, take the shot over the top, and it works out beautifully. To the ground on first down for Salpointe behind Chris Cheney, and it's a pickup of a couple.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, Zach. You run to set up the pass.
We always hear coaches talk about it, right? It's, oh, we want to establish it. We want to establish it. You know, we want to get physical early, work the ground game. But it does a lot more than just provoking physicality throughout the game. It opens things up like that, where all it takes is that corner to come up, hesitate a little bit to play the run, and then you take the top off.
Yeah, it's a lot like coaches when they say they want to play their brand of football. Well, what's your brand of football?
Salpointe try to take the top off this time around. David rushing the intended target, and he's slowed down by Derek Wilson.
Derek Wilson covered for Red Mountain.
Just a little bit deep, but the arm on full display that time from Matthew Avalar. And he can certainly spin it.
Yeah, Derek Wilson's another young guy filling in for Chayton Jennings. I expect Salpointe to test this secondary.
might be something that they're forced to do, the way that the interior and the front seven of Red Mountain have been playing defensively throughout these first 2 drives. A rollout from Avalar on 3rd down, a comeback route. The official calls it incomplete as David Rushing slides out of bounds with it, and it brings up another 4th down. The Red Mountain defense getting the job done early.
Yeah, Red Mountain's offense looking to double up here. I mean, realistically, yeah, it all starts up front. And if you're the Salpointe offensive line, you just can't let 4 guys get home on a rollout pass.
We'll see what special teams coordinator Josh Barge drives up this time, as Jamison Wade got through on the previous. Bring pressure again. Cole Edmonds comes close, but now Tyreek Cornett has room. Fumbles it for just a second, and that makes him pay on the backside. So it ends up being a nice punt for Salpointe, putting Red Mountain inside their own 30, and Landon Peterson gets down the field quick enough that Tyreek Cornett having that little bobble cost him.
Well, Barge sent 7 guys that time. I feel like that's going to be a running theme in this game.
It's a comfortable spot because it forces Salpointe to be successful on executing the punt and getting it out. But after you bring 7, you're confident in Tyreek Cornett making guys miss on an island.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. Yeah, you send 7 guys on the rush, but who's going to be back there guarding Tyreek Cornett? Realistically, you have 3 blockers there.
Darius Grayson Courts will be the workhorse back for Red Mountain tonight, and he gets blown up from the 2nd level by Alan Dion after a pickup of 6.
I mean, Alan Dion flew in from the secondary. He just flies in, makes the play. That's how you stop the run right there if you're a safety.
You ready, Nate? It's my turn to give you a throwback name of a hard-hitting safety.
Right.
Steve Atwater.
Broncos fan.
That's my guy. They go back to the ground on 2nd down, and Grayson Courts spits out across the 40. After taking the hard hit, he doesn't shy away from contact enough for the 1st down.
Just a good job at it, inviting contact, not running away from it. Grayson Courts, Yosanese, he gets the pull, and in doing so, he gets another 2 yards.
Bonnier makes the tackle after fighting off of the block, but Josh Lee is doing a great job. He's isolated against him. There was no double there. It was all Josh Lee, and he's able to handle one of the best run stoppers in the state. Pitch out this time for a 3rd straight run. The penetration gets there for Salpointe, but the shiftiness of Darius Grayson Courts ends up winning.
I mean, this is why we see coaches make a big deal of contain. Where's contain? Where's leverage? NFL coaches like using the vocabulary word leverage. Maintaining the edge so Darius Courts cuts up the field. And even when you do set the edge, you're not supposed to let him get up the field.
He needs a breather this time, so it's Kai Jackson who has the fake and the spit out to Jay Williams. A little bit of room for Williams. He invites the contact as well, but Alan Dion is throwing the body tonight.
Yeah, Alan Dion. A workhorse thus far. They're going to run cover 1 here.
Kai Jackson with the carry, a nice cut to the outside, but an even better tackle by Elijah Valencia.
Yeah, I said they ran cover 1 there. You see number 7, Alex Martinez, he gets into the box, and that's the great thing about cover 1. You get an extra guy in the box. Only bad thing about that one is you only got 1 guy back there for the deep routes. And if Red Mountain runs enough deep routes when there's 1 safety, that could be big trouble.
They set up 2 now with Axel Martinez and Alan Dion back there, and Dion kind of quarterbacking things, spitting out commands to his secondary. Back to the ground with Kai Jackson. Bonnier wraps him up. But it's been all positive yardage in the ground game for the most part tonight for Red Mountain.
Jackson on the carry. Tacklers, Brian Melton, Joseph Figueroa.
Kevin Duarte, the offensive line coach, has to be pretty happy with what's going on down there with his unit.
Yeah, absolutely. O-line getting physical up front. You love to see that.
Another big body now checks in Jaden Wyndham, the tight end. He leads the way, and a nice hole for Kai Jackson as it continues to be chunk yardage for Red Mountain as they run behind that left side, but a nice pull from Jaden Wyndham, the tight end, sophomore, asked to do a lot for this team.
Yeah, he's a pass ball catcher, run blocker. He can really do it all.
Up tempo for Red Mountain as they continue to drive. Josh Lee doesn't get too big of a block, and it looks like Noah Bonnier comes up limping a little bit. Stays on the field, but something to monitor.
6:02, 2nd and 8.
It's been a different backfield committee that we've seen pretty much all 4 games of the season up to this point, right? It starts with Vinny Coffey and Evan Fitzgerald. Then we get Abnell Lazzarini and Kai Jackson. Then you get Abnell Lazzarini and Grayson Courts. All these guys are doing it, and I think it's just a testament of this offensive line. Initiating early on, the scoreboard says 7-0. You combine that to 70, that's what you get behind Josh Lee, one of those stud offensive linemen. As we approach the second quarter, we'll step away on RMTV. A 7-0 lead at home for Red Mountain in week 4 of the Arizona high school football season. And the drive has been a successful one thus far, establishing the run with Darius Grayson Courts and Kai Jackson. These guys really getting it done on the ground, Nate.
Yeah, and the offense is getting it done too. If they score on this possession, they're in good shape. They're playing complementary football, something that Red Mountain hasn't really done in the last 2 games.
And they're set up right now at the 29 of Salpointe. And while Red Mountain get ready to take the field, we head down to Rome Cady on the sideline.
Yeah, thanks, guys. When you come into this game, especially with a Salpointe team that's really good, you talk about a guy like RJ Gorey, their wide receiver. He's ranked 30th in the class of 2027 recruits in Arizona, according to 24/7 Sports, and he's a 3-star receiver to boot. He has offers from Arizona, New Mexico State, and UTEP, so he could be a key guy when it comes to this Lancers team, guys.
Thanks, Rome. They've been slowed down in the passing game up to this point. We get a little wildcat look from Tyreek Cornett, the do-it-all player for Red Mountain. And Gorey has been, he's been involved tonight. He's gotten a reception. He's been worked in the punt return and kick return game where he set things up. But it's just, once you see positive things going, the Red Mountain defense just steps in and forces that third down. And it hasn't worked yet for the offense of Salpointe.
There's going to be a time where that's going to work. Red Mountain shows it a lot on the field. They may have revealed that trick play a little too early in the season. But there will be a time where that scenario will be necessary.
A grand opportunity for the Salpointe defense to get off the field, but the screen set up nicely for Grayson Courts, and he has the first down. Oftentimes, we have talked about throughout the years the struggles on 3rd and long of Red Mountain giving up those plays and allowing first downs to the opponent. Now, they're on the other side of the script. They pick up a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, the script has flipped. Darius Grayson Courts kind of pretends like he's going to go a little pass pro action. And just going to be a dump off screen, easy throw from Caleb Joe.
A trip to the red zone for the first time this evening for Red Mountain. They succeeded from beyond there, a 33-yard touchdown to give them their first score to King Robinson of this evening. Back to the ground game and chugging along with more positivity as they continue to move forward. A gain of 4 on first down.
Pick up of 4 yards. Second down and 6.
Back to the wristband for Caleb Joe. We see Anthony Peevler check into the game, kind of the up-back look right there, number 47 for you watching at home. They fake it away to Grayson Courts, and Caleb Joe takes it on his own. Peevler out for the block, and a first down, so it's goal-to-go territory for Red Mountain. Chris Cheney forces Caleb Joe out of bounds. And Caleb Joe's been pretty versatile. We've seen him score a couple times with the quarterback sneak, and he's not someone who's going to be as lethal as Simon Lopez was a year ago, but he still has the legs to get it done when he needs to.
Yep. They're going to send all the skill guys to the sideline, and here we go. You love to see it. Ultra heavy formation right up the gut.
The big boys out there, and they pave the way for Kai Jackson to get in the end zone. Red Mountain go up 2 scores early on.
I mean, your quintessential blocks right here. Play drowning pools. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let them pave the way.
How about Jamison Wade finding 2 on the play, huh?
Serving up some pancakes.
Pitzer continues to be perfect tonight. Puts them to 11 of 12 in the extra point department on the season, and Red Mountain on top 14-0. 9:56 left in the first half on RMTV. Red Mountain clicking on all cylinders with a 14-0 lead, 9:56 left in the first half on RMTV. They capitalize with another great drive at the hands of Kai Jackson, finding the painted area for the 3rd time this season, and the big boys just getting the job done up front.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a great gap scheme. Drew up by Kevin Duarte. I mean, look at that. Poetry in motion if you're an offensive line guy.
Lifting and refining his form. Consistently putting in the extra
and that's exactly what you want out of your big fellas up front.
And they've been playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder this week, right? Not very happy with the performance that they had last week. Only responsible for 7 of the 14 points that they scored. As we know, Tyreek Cornett ran the punt back for ultimately the game-winning touchdown against O'Connor, but they've gotten going early with the scoring. A great response tonight.
That one didn't even see the end zone.
It's kind of sad that it doesn't even impress me anymore. After week 1 and I saw what Chase Pitzer could do with his leg, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I expect that to be all the way over on Brown Road or something by now.
I mean, he is just automatic with the kickoffs.
It sets Salpointe up at their own 20 for their 3rd drive of the night. And well, when we talked to head coach Pat Ryden prior to the game, he really did want to establish it with Chris Cheney, but the front 7 of Red Mountain have just been bottling things up.
And it all starts with the 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. They are in charge of getting that run game going.
Play action and a little pass forward to R.J. Gorey. Positive yardage, moving the sticks on first down. And those short little completions, a nice extension of the run game, and that's something to go in the good graces of the Salpointe offense.
I really, really like that play call. Fortunately, we got some laundry on the field. We got Matthew Avalar. He's going to fake like he's going to run it, see that the screen isn't there.
That's what you see sometimes with those screens. The ineligible man downfield is the call. So that backs things up, and not necessarily a drive killer, but just not the jump start that you would have had if the R.J. Gorey first down stands. Makes it 1st and 15, and now things open up for Kyle Enders, not only the head coach for this Red Mountain team, but also the defensive coordinator. 8 seconds left on the play clock for Avalar.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of eagle sets. That's 4 wide receiver look and 1 running back from Salpointe.
Play action, back over the middle. Cornett with the pick. Cornett with the 6.
Cue Coach Runge. That's a pick 6 pie if I've ever seen it. I mean, this guy is just a star in the East Valley. What is there he can't do? I'll wait.
Tyreek Cornett has not played a game this season without an interception. That's 4 for 4. This one all the way back to the house for 6.
Sub-Zero has done it again.
And Pitzer continues to be nonchalant as he puts it through this time. And this is the response from a down week for Red Mountain that they wanted. We talked to Kyle Enders, not too happy with the performance they put up last week playing against O'Connor with a backup quarterback, and the game was as tight as it was. It looks like things are going the way they wanted to tonight.
They're going their way. They're doing everything they planned on doing and then doing a little more on top of that.
I mean, how much does it help out with the mentality of these guys on the field when every unit is doing something for the next one, right? The offense moving the ball efficiently, running effectively, the defense forcing turnovers, special teams unit with a punt block to set up good field position. Everyone's loving it on the sideline.
Yeah, they're winning on all phases of the ball. Special teams, offense, and defense. And Pat Ryden has his group in a massive huddle on the Salpointe sideline. This is just a dig route, and Cornett sees it the entire way. And you know Tyreek Cornett. I mean, that's just a great read. Receiver even fell down. That only helped Cornett from there.
I know it's the start that Red Mountain have wanted in all 3 phases, but if you are Salpointe and you're trying to claw your way back into this game, you got plenty of time. We're not even 2.5 minutes into the second quarter, 9:41 left on the clock, and they're getting the ball back right now. What is it going to take for them to put together a good scoring drive to beat this Red Mountain defense, who seems good in both facets of the run game and the pass blocks?
Well, they need to start getting those chunk plays, okay? Even if it means slowing down, getting back to basics, then you can start opening up the playbook a little bit. And it wouldn't hurt firing off some deep shots to test that secondary.
Pitzer, line drive through the end zone, little wind on the back. And Deja Vu sets Salpointe back up at the 20-yard line to begin this drive. And we'll see how they look to open things up. They've been trying to get their superstar receivers and R.J. Gorey and David Rushing involved, but it's just been tight coverage all the way around from Red Mountain. And on top of that, the pressure's gotten home to force some of these throws early.
Yeah, if we're thinking logically, the offensive line for Salpointe has to be better. Because that defensive line, in fact, basically everybody in the box for Red Mountain is capable of getting home. If you really want to start getting gains on offense, you got to start blocking first.
Often just the three-man front of Red Mountain that causes chaos, and they do it here. Cade Gadare ultimately makes the stop. With the first couple in, you know the names, Crew Vanderlinden and Lysander To'oto'a.
Well, we got a Lancer down.
31, Cade Gadare. Number 51, James McGee. Officials, timeout.
I want to say it was Alex Martinez.
Yep, Martinez down on the field. And with that, the teams return to the sidelines, and we'll take a break on RMTV. Good to see Axel Martinez, a little bit of help back to the sideline, nursing that leg. Able to get up and eventually out under his own power, which is always nice. As we return here to Jim Jones Field, 9:27 left in the first half.
Oh. Yeah, he ran right into
Jackson White in the secondary, and that's not a fun collision to have.
8-1 in the previous play. 2nd and 9.
They go with a handoff, and that's Gorey, the wide receiver, who takes it on a little bit of the end around. Jamison Wade comes in to clean things up. But White, the first one in.
R.J. Gorey on the carry. Picked up by Cole Redmond.
And there you see that speed from R.J. Gorey. Lightning quick. Almost like Jeremy Adonju last week.
A big spot for the Salpointe offense. They've only brought about 40 seconds off of the clock since this drive began, and they're facing 3rd down and 5 from their own 25. Play action, Avalar steps up over the middle. He's met, but what a catch by Gorey to be able to fight through contact and pick up a critical first down.
R.J. Gorey on the reception from Matthew Avalar.
Just way to survive the contact. I mean, great back-to-back plays. He's going to absorb this contact. And if you're in the secondary, yeah, you know, it's really fun to get that kill shot and all that momentum and energy, and you throw your body into the guy. But ultimately, it's not about the dude, it's about the ball.
Avalar back to pass again, looking deep, able to escape the pocket. Out of bounds after a gain of 3 as Jamison Wade tracks him down.
Matthew Avalar scrambles out of bounds.
See, now Salpointe's starting to open up the playbook a little bit. You're seeing routes that are greater than 10 yards. Almost all of them past the linebackers.
Well, and the offensive line get their jobs done that time around, too. Cruz Huerta on that left side, able to slow down the pass rush, and it gave plentiful time to Matthew Avalar. 2nd and 7, 8:10 left in the first half on RMTV. Alongside Nate Smith, I'm Zach Warhack. Back to the ground, and that blown up immediately. Do I even need to tell you the name? Jamison Wade.
Oh, that's Jamison Wade all the way.
Alan Dion, the one to get the carry that time for Salpointe, switching out with Chris Cheney, and he's back to the sideline now. Cheney checks back into the game.
I mean, he just meets him right there, and you know, Dion, he just stumbles and falls down. And you're asking me, well, Nate, what's the difference between base and eagle? The tight end is on the line of scrimmage.
Avalar escapes the pocket again, jukes out Cole Edmonds and finds the sideline. Cut back and enough for the first down. He's looking for more, still on his feet. Avalar fighting for every extra yard. Does plenty to get the first down and some extracurricular.
Oh, that looked a little Mahomey right there. Pull out the improviser card, do it yourself. Make a couple of nice jukes. I mean, Red Mountain had him dead to rights. See Josh Lee making his way over there. Cornette can't get there. Josh Lee can't get there. And even when you think he's down, oh, nice block by number 50 on Salpointe.
Avalar throws it away here on first down as they're right near midfield. And I think if you're Pat Wright and the coach for Salpointe, you're happy with everything that your quarterback just did to improv, other than the hit at the end. You know, after you got the first down, you get a little bit out there, just go down.
Yeah.
Still an athletic play from Avalar, able to take the hit, manage it, and he stays tough in this game.
Yeah, it's one of those plays where, as a coach, you kind of hold your breath like, just go down.
They go to the ground. Cheney cuts up and shows his strength. Cheney fighting for every extra yard. And that makes it third and very manageable, just 2 to go. And well, it's been a little bit since the run game got going for Salpointe tonight, but Chris Cheney gets things started, just fighting for every yard.
Yeah, so Cheney's going to go right up here. And in this corner, I believe that's Kai Jackson. He's supposed to fill in. And we let the film run here. He just overruns it. He shoots too far up to the into the backfield.
Cheney tried to go outside, and he's stuffed. A loss of 8, and the Red Mountain rush defense gets home. Cade Goddard, Jackson White.
I mean, this Red Mountain front seven is playing Red Mountain football. Put it plain and simple. They're getting home. They're stopping the run.
Salpointe not showing signs of desperation just yet. As Trevor Wirtz comes in to punt, they don't leave the offense on the field. Red Mountain got to be ready for everything here. Get this one away, and Cornette with the line drive has plenty of time to work. Out across the 25 by Cornette, so that stop on the run there on third down from Cheney, while he was brought back by the Cavalry all the way 7 yards, it was realistically only a loss of about 3 where they gave forward progress. It's funny hearing the crowd here at Jim Jones Field, the Red Mountain faithful. Every time Tyreek Cornette gets the ball on a punt, it's like you hear some little murmurs go around and everyone wants to know what's he going to do. And then there's a sigh of disappointment out in front of us in the press box when he doesn't take it for 70. The expectations are high for the kid. Handoff on first down. Nice diving tackle by Jake Bondi to come out of the secondary.
Yeah, we talk about coverage, filling in and stopping the run. Jake Bondi does a great job at that. Yeah, he's just going to come up right here and just play this spot, kind of like he was a linebacker. And he just flies into frame, bam, right there, Buda Baker style.
Out of nowhere, and then he appears. A little bit of confusion to get things set for Red Mountain. 8 left on the play clock for Caleb Joe. They still have 2 timeouts to spend if need be. Joe gives, and Darius Courts shuffles forward for a couple. Cole Beatty, he was on the receiving end of the strength from Noah Bonnier that time. And a little bit of chatter back and forth between those two in the trenches.
We got trips to the far side. Jaden Wyndham has his hand in the dirt, so you already know what that means.
Salpointe really looking to create pressure here and make a stop. Caleb Joe goes deep, and that one just a little bit too deep. No flag thrown on the play. He was looking for Arian Wyndham. Couldn't find him, and there's good coverage on the backside by Alan Dion.
I think one could make the argument that it was uncatchable. And as of right now, it's realistically the tale of two tapes. Caleb Joe, 6 for 7, and Matthew Avalar, 3 of 7.
Well, and it's a big call to answer that time for the Salpointe defense. They needed a stop. They elected to punt right around midfield rather than going forward on 4th down. Trusted in the defense, and they made it happen. A lot of hang time this time from Pitzer, and Gorey muffs it. Unable to advance the muff putt there. Now, is that a fair catch signaled and then the muff that slowed things down, or what's the situation?
Oh, I don't know.
Regardless, the officials blow it dead, and Salpointe get ready to go here from their own 27-yard line. Offense a little bit late to make it out onto the field. 3:45 left here in the first half. And this is a situation for Salpointe where they can bleed some clock and they get the ball to start the second half.
You know what? Normally I have a explanation for that, but frankly, partner, I don't know what that was about.
I think it feels like just a fair catch touch and then recover it, but I also want to say it's a live ball. Focused on the offense, Jamison Wade almost gets home. Avalar escapes a couple, and then he's met by Crew Vanderlinden. 3 Red Mountain defenders had a chance for the sack, just one comes away with it.
I mean, Crew Vanderlinden played the cleanup guy on this one. 2 guys had a shot with Matthew Avalar, Jamison Wade, and then another guy. Crew Vanderlinden was just the dude to finish, and he just comes right up through that gap. And it really speaks volume. I mean, you got 5 guys in the backfield. They are just lighting up that Salpointe offensive line.
Loss of 15 on 1st down. And now a muff snap. It goes from bad to worse if you're Salpointe. Back in the end zone, and that's a safety for the Red Mountain defense. Everything going the way of the Red Mountain Lions tonight as they put 2 more on the board.
I mean, Red Mountain playing the quintessential perfect game.
And it's all smiles from Kyle Enders down on the sideline. Really liking the way that his guys are able to recover from a week ago. I mean, they played a solid defensive game against O'Connor. Only gave up 7 points. But tonight, it's just been forced turnovers, pressure getting home, stops in the run game. Everything's been going correct.
I think for the O'Connor game, yeah, I think they played good defense in that one, but it wasn't fundamentally sound. This game feels like they're competing and firing off on all cylinders.
And just like that, where Salpointe had the opportunity to double up on that drive as they'll receive the kick to start the second half, Red Mountain have a possibility of 9 here after the safety and Tyreek Cornett back deep. .44, the highest scoring week of the season thus far for Red Mountain. They did that out in Vegas against Desert Pines. And the final score of that one, 44-21. And this one will be returnable. Tyreek Cornett loses the handle again, but now sets things up, cuts back. He evades the first tackle from Jake Bondi and then is brought down out across the 35. We putting Vaseline on the balls down there, Nate? It seems like everything's a little slippery. We've seen RJ Gorey muff a couple. Cornette hasn't been able to hang on to all of them. What's going on?
I don't know. Must be this weather.
Return of 16 by Cornette. First and 10 right now at the 36.
Grip boost.
Offense checks back in now for Red Mountain at the 36, and we'll see if the explosiveness continues. King Robinson on an island, bottom of your screen.
Yeah, and he's guarded by Carlos Gonzalez.
They go to the ground on first down, and Darius Courts fights to get back towards the line of scrimmage. OJ Flores has been extremely active in the run game. It's tackle number 5 of the first half for him.
Loss of a yard, second and 11.
Now the clock management game comes into fruition for Red Mountain as they go Wildcat here on second down and 11. Cornette goes to pass this one, loses his footing. He still gets it deep enough for Wyndham. You gotta believe if Tyreek Cornette didn't have a meetup with the turf monster that's going for a touchdown.
Oh, that is absolutely going for a touchdown. I mean, and didn't you say like week 1 they have a play drawn up for Tyreek Cornette to throw a touchdown? That was the play. That was the one.
He spikes his gloves on the sideline and lays down on the trainer's table in disbelief of what just happened.
Caleb Joe completes to J.B. Williams, who stumbles down at the 41.
We just heard the frustration from Tyreek Cornette all the way up here in the press box. He wanted that one to go for 6.
Oh, he's going to get that one back soon.
And you know what?
He's got to get it back soon.
I think we need a little bit of an edit from our guy C. Klein to that video ISO'd up and a little bit. You got me tripping, oh, stumbling, oh. Send that to Tyreek Cornette. Second down and 12. Caleb Joe, he says, I'll be responsible for the passing from here on out, Tyreek. That time a little bit of an overthrow with 1:10 left here in the first half.
Third down and 12.
Oh, but that play speaks volumes in itself. Red Mountain's like, yo, we want to put this thing away. We want this to be running clock against another 3-0 team, and we want to assert our dominance.
Certainly looking to make a statement and trying to stay successful, right? You just tread water, try to avoid injuries while you're getting a win throughout the season, and then it comes time for playoffs. They go to pass again back to Wyndham, and he's met immediately. Well, you got to read the map, and you got to map the read, and that time around, Adrian Jett does just that.
They're sending out the punt unit.
4th and 14 at the 43.
I mean, Red Mountain that time, they ran like 3 deep routes. King Robinson, Jay Williams, maybe Arion Wyndham was in on that action, but they all ran like verticals and posts. And then Caleb Joe opts to take the arrow route to Jaden Wyndham.
Red Mountain just bleeding the clock down, and then they'll elect to take a timeout when the clock strikes right about 22 seconds where the play clock is. They kill as much as they can, and that's a wise move. Salpointe still have all 3 timeouts and an opportunity to get the ball back to begin the second half. And, well, Red Mountain, they didn't even want to spend the timeout. They just took the delay of game penalty. And now, just about the last thing that you need on the bingo card of what is Red Mountain able to do would be a little Chase Pitzer coffin corner.
Yeah, just a chip shot.
Pitzer in punt formation.
Little 9-iron action. Get the ball inside the 10.
He'll punt it from right around his own 40 when he steps into it. And we'll see where he's able to pin Salpointe.
Just a beautiful protection.
Good hang time, bounces right around the 10, and now it's a chase down. Doesn't look like Red Mountain are able to down it. Pitzer did his job. Gunner's just not able to save it.
Salpointe will take over at the 20.
Yeah, it was just a good punt. Gunners just couldn't get down there.
He checked it up nicely too. I mean, it didn't hit the first bounce straight towards the end zone. Was able to kind of slow roll it.
Is there there's got to be like a science to it, or is it like a random chance?
I think that these guys are good enough to know exactly what they're doing when they're turning a punt over midair, or the way that they're kicking it, if they're going with the end over end action, or like I said, that turnover in the spiral where they're able to kind of read how it's going to react when it hits the turf. It's like calculating, what do you want it to be? The parabola, a little y equals mx plus b, something like that?
Yep, the parabola. Got to have a high vertex.
Yep, that's what Pitzer's doing. Salpointe go down to the ground, and they'll just run out the quarter and the half on top of it. 4 seconds down, and it'll bleed out, and it's a 23-0 lead to start things off for Red Mountain. And I think that it's just about everything you could want in the first half if you're this team.
Yeah, realistically, Red Mountain is just playing the perfect game. Just firing off on all cylinders, special teams, defense, offense, you name it, they're winning that battle. Everybody's winning their individual battles. They're winning the trenches. They're beating corners. They're beating safeties. They're beating everybody.
They're playing the way that they certainly want to right now, dominating this game early on. And we'll see how Salpointe shows a little bit of life coming out to begin the second half. And we'll step away here on RMTV. 23-0, the lead for Red Mountain at home. Week 4 of the Arizona high school football season is a successful one for them up to this point.
Thursday night football, playing with your boys on TV. I don't think it gets a whole lot better than this.
I'm taking every chance I get.
And an F-35 flyover pregame by Fuego Wilson as we're treated to that on this historic day.
Come back, ever come back? How could I ever come back? Ever come back? How could I ever come back?
But O'Connor threatening. They go to a Donju right side, follows a cavalry of blocks, walks into the end zone, and a 7-0 lead at home for O'Connor.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my pants, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, explosion.
Who else but Jamison Wade? Position high snap. This one could be recovered and taken. Joe faces pressure, rolls to his right, and takes off with his legs. Brought down short of the end zone. They get there quick, go sneak, and he's good. They bring 4 and drop everyone else back. Oglesby with a deep shot. Comebacker. Cornett comes up with us. Receiver reverse this time around. Trickaroo from Brian McDaniel and a pickup of 8. Oglesby high snap and a check down screen. Donju met immediately. Cole Edmonds in to make the stop and a nice read by Red Mountain. Cornett sets up to return. Square at the 50. And if he has a chance to take it, you better watch out. Cornett runs up to get it. He's got room. 1 to beat. Tyree Cornett cuts to the outside, all the way to the Costa. Play action from Joe. He's running backwards. Josh Lee with a huge block to open things up. Joe just gets it off to Lazzarini, and a broken play turns into a game winner. A lot of positive emotion soon to come for Red Mountain as they're in victory formation. They'll seal the deal and move to 3-0 on the season. Maybe not the prettiest game, but the result you want.
Drum majors, Evan Collins, Jack Ellis, and Mackenzie Mills.
To us, clearly, forcefully, come, you may stand upon my back and face your distant destiny.
This evening we are pleased to welcome 85 future band lions from Fremont Junior, Shepherd Junior, and Mesa Academy to perform Land of a Thousand with the Red Mountain Band. Assistant Director is Karen Jones. Percussion instructor is Evan Dixon, Wardell King, Bob Davis, Matt Izquierdo, and Benjamin McKinley. Visual captain head Taylor Gowdy. Music and visual instructors Danielle Dixon, Ian Hoffman, and Daniel Bryce. Current instructors are Aubrey Oliver and Jamie. Coming up at the end of halftime, we have the Global Credit Union Kick for Cash. Our own Amelia Ramos is set to kick a 20-yard field goal. If Amelia makes it, she wins $150 courtesy of Global Credit Union. That's Kick for Cash coming up at the end of halftime. I would like to acknowledge the football sponsor, title sponsor, Dixon Jewelers, Carly McGee, MHG Commercial Real Estate.
A 23-0 lead for Red Mountain at the half over Salpointe, and we've had a little bit of everything. A pick six, a safety, offense, defense, special teams, punt blocks. We got it all. Alongside Nate Smith, I'm Zach Warhack. Nate, what's your biggest takeaway from this Red Mountain unit looking so dominant in the first half?
My biggest takeaway from this Red Mountain unit is they are playing as one unit. It's not three separate bodies. They're just playing as one team, and that's what you want to see out of your guys.
I think the momentum really got started off with that Jamison Wade punt block that I mentioned, and from that point, the offense just started clicking. The run game was involved. Caleb Joe spins a 33-yarder to King Robinson for a score. Everyone's having fun out there, right? Obviously, when you're winning, you're going to be having fun, but they're playing loose.
Yeah, they're playing loose and they're having fun. They're playing football. It's not a chore. They think of it as like something you do as a leisurely activity. And going back to the punt block, that really can build up some momentum for the offense. It gives you a short field and overall good vibes all around on that Red Mountain sideline.
On the flip side of things, for Pat Ryden and his squad over on Salpointe's sideline, you've dug yourself a little bit of hole, down 23-0, but you have the ball to start this half. What's something that you need to do to kind of initiate and switch things up to give yourself an opportunity?
Well, it all starts in the trenches. Salpointe's offensive line is getting beat down. You know, Red Mountain is sending 4 guys, and 4 guys is not a lot in terms of blitzing. And I think if you stop Red Mountain's pass rush, it opens up the playbook.
With a 23-0 lead, we'll go down to the man in charge, Rome Cady, as Kyle Enders, head coach of this Red Mountain squad.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much. And Coach, special teams has really been a big focus of this game so far. I talked to you about Cornette before the end of the game, but how has this unit really stepped up in this game so far in the first half?
Yeah, we kind of spoke about it before the game, and starting the game off, the first time they line up the punt, we block it. That's huge. Our kids, like we spoke about, we got to steal that phase of the game, and they bought in, and that's a game-changing play, even though it's so early.
And your entire team has really clicked so well in all 3 phases of the game. What's been the catalyst for you on that side of things as well?
Controlling the line of scrimmage. They can't run the ball, and we can. When you do that and you make teams one-dimensional and then we can do both, this is what happens, and we're hoping to do it in the second half too.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Coach. Guys, back to you.
Good stuff, Rome. A nice 23-0 lead being nursed by Kyle Enders' squad and his defense getting the job done here. Nate, throughout the state of Arizona, I'm getting a little bit confused. We've done so many Thursday games throughout this year so far. I know you and I had Highland Higley to start the season off. I've lost my bearings, but it's Friday night. There's plenty more football going on in the state of Arizona.
Oh, yeah, a ton of action on Friday. Going to Desert Mountain and Mountain Point. Desert Mountain's got Mountain Point 24-9 in that one. We go to ALA Gilbert North now, where they're playing if not the best 5A team, being the Desert Edge Scorpions. 7-6 in that one. ALA Gilbert North has the lead, and they're going to Hamilton and Brophy. Hamilton has that one at the half, 35-10, and going to Centennial and Queen Creek, 14-7. Centennial has the lead, and your marquee matchup, it's the Mountain View Toros and the Basha Bears, two of the best teams in the state right now. Basha 24, the Toros nothing.
Well, in a 23-0 scoreline here at Jim Jones Field, Jamison Wade still getting his team fired up and ready to go for the second half. And Nate, I got to have a little bit of beef with you and JP. I didn't get invited to the party to talk about tailgate food, so I need you to throw me in on the segment, give me everything, because you need a little help. We can work as a team together as the broadcasters, because you lost the vote in the poll to JP. Everybody who's watching at home voted for his top 3 over yours, so kick it to me and I'll help you out.
Well, you know what? I had a good top 3, okay? I understand that maybe the people who voted aren't the biggest barbecue fans, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. The pregame show segment, pad level, the category was tailgate foods. Foods you see at the Great Lawn at State Farm Stadium, ones you see in the parking lot at an ASU game, maybe even a high school game soon, thrown on by student council. We'll get to you after the kickoff.
Yeah, I know a lot of stuff at tailgates get cooked up and everything, but the way I like to enjoy my Sundays, couch, comfort of my own home, watching and looking at all my fantasy lineups. I have too many teams. I have 4 different fantasy lineups, DFS this, DFS that. So the key to me for a good Sunday quote-unquote tailgate, it's got to be something where I can have a million of something and it's not going to fill me up. So number 3, it's got to be buffalo chicken dip, okay? You get in there, you can munch on chips, buffalo chicken dip all day long. You're never going to get tired of it. Number 2, you got to bring a little spice to your life, jalapeno poppers. Now
Okay, so sorry for interrupting, but that's just an underrated pick right there. I don't know how we didn't think of that in our top 3.
I got a good poll here. So jalapeno poppers, the way I do it, air fryer, cream cheese filling as they're halved, wrapped in bacon.
Holy cow, you're speaking my language.
Get back to the real stuff here, and plenty of guys who are eating a lot of jalapeno poppers. The defensive front of Red Mountain, To'a, gets in on the stop here on first down as Salpointe re-enter the half. That's my number 2. Number 1, it's just pretty straightforward and simple. It's got to be wings, and I'm a drum guy. My wife has told me that if we went and got chicken wings on our first date, we wouldn't be married right now. Because I just, when I see a good drum with some nice ranch, I cheek the whole thing and just one bite the wing. I love a good chicken wing. So that's my top 3. If we put the poll up in the comments, everybody knows that I'm beating you and JP. Second down here for Salpointe, back to the ground. And a big stop from the front of Red Mountain. Having too much fun up here in the broadcast booth, but down on the field, a lot of fun for this defense as well.
Okay, so you said you're a drum guy, right? Mm-hmm. You can't hold a drum with 2 hands.
You don't want to. You one-hand it. All you need is one. All you need is one.
Yeah, there's more chicken on the wing, so to speak, or on the bone, pardon. It's just not it's not versatile, man.
I one-hand flats, too, whenever I get them. I give it the umbrella method.
What's the umbrella method?
Let me teach you here. After 3rd down and 5. We got Matthew Avalar back, and he sends R.J. Gorey in motion. Avalar spins it out and finds his man David rushing, and there's a chain mover.
No, he dropped it.
Yeah, just incomplete out wide.
Yeah, and he struggled catching the ball. That's his 2nd drop. He had one on the first drive. Also one past the first down marker.
It's tough coming out of the half to just go 3 and out real quick, and we get a better view down on the sideline of the pitch and catch attempt here. Yeah, that one is just, it's right in the sweet spot. Perfect accuracy from Matthew Avalar. And, well, rushing even had me fooled. Saw the initial grasp on it, thought he had the first, and just lost it on the 2nd effort.
You know, that's why they tell you as a coach, got to put the diamond out. Oh,
another block from this Red Mountain special teams unit. Cole Edmonds gets to it that time, and him and Jamison Wade sharing a good time in the backfield, and that just sets up the Red Mountain offense perfectly.
Jamison Wade and Cole Edmonds, one of them got it. It was fielded by number 41,
These guys are just all over the field.
I mean, they are just flying. They get 3 guys home. And Josh Barge once again calling the special teams like a defense.
Well, and it's the entire linebacking core that gets there. It's Wade, Edmonds, and Cade Goddard. All 3 of them able to get home that time around. And I got to get you back to put you onto this method. So when you get a flat, you got to hit it with the umbrella. So all you need is one hand. If you're a rookie, you can take 2. But you just take the one hand, and all right, here, we're hearing from our producer, Tyler, here, that we're going to come on camera to teach everyone.
Okay, wait, let me get my pen out.
The pen here is the wing, okay? So this is a flat.
Okay.
You just have it here. Take it down to your plate. You got to have a tight grip with these 3 fingers. Smush it down, okay? And what's going to happen is all the meat, even in the middle, is going to come out and hold. It's going to look like an umbrella. So you got all of that on the top, dip it in ranch, and then you just one bite the flat.
Okay.
That's the way to do it. If you need to, you can take 2 and then kind of twist it to loosen it up and then do the same thing.
Okay, that one I'm familiar with. I've seen people do that. But
that's a straightforward way to do it.
No, but see, for me, I just, I mean, it's not really efficient, though.
Yeah, you gotta. When I'm trying to eat wings, I'm trying to put down 2 dozen. It's a bad time. Bad time for me.
Yeah, but you got to get the ones with some, extra meat on the bones. Like, the ones at Buffalo Wild Wings, I think they're frying baby chickens, if we're being honest.
You got to pay the uptick for those. Down on the field here, it's just all positivity for Red Mountain and their squad. Guys who are dressed, guys who are out due to injury, everybody involved in the huddle, out of the huddle, on the sideline. You just got one squad who are all believing in each other. And Brian McDaniel, we see a good shot of him here, getting the offense prepared and ready to cook out on the field. Up 23-0. I don't know if the foot's going to come off the gas here.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And they threw a trick play before the end of the half with Cornette. So, I mean, that playbook is pretty much wide open for Brian McDaniel. He can experiment all he wants.
It's just a situation as well where you see things happen too fast time and time again. There is plenty of time left in this game. I know we're having fun here up in the broadcast booth, but a 23-0 lead is not safe at this stage. There's essentially an entire half of football left to be played, but Red Mountain have an opportunity to put things out of reach. Short field here to start this drive.
Yeah, they're going to run trips to the near side here.
Cornett has it out of the Wildcat, cuts back up over the middle and picks up a gain of a few. Molina able to lay on the back and bring him down.
Tyreek Cornett on the keeper, got down by number 56, Emilio Molina. Gain of 3, second and 7.
Pickup of 3 on first down with 10:03 and counting left here in the third quarter. Caleb Joe back out onto the field to take the snap this time around, has Jaden Wyndham set up on the left side. They go back to Grayson Courts, and he spits out for a nice gain across the 25. And he's spotted just a yard shy of the first down.
We got a Lancer losing his helmet on the play. That's Carlos Jones. Another guy playing both ways for Salpointe.
And he'll have to check out of the game to the sideline for at least a play to get situated. Back to the ground for Red Mountain on third down, and it might not be enough.
See, that's a great play by Salpointe's front seven, causing confusion, disturbing the peace, not letting Darius Grayson Courts get that outside or the inside. They just overpower their guy. And Red Mountain's going to send out the big guys for this 4th and 1.
Yep, you get Deuce Latui, Jamison Wade, and Kai Jackson, the new running back, checking in. We've seen plenty of times in the goal line, like right on the 1 yard line, where they'll give it to Jamison Wade, the up back. You got Josh Lee back there as well. The give is to Kai Jackson, and he has plenty of it. Skates out to the 20-yard line, wrapped up by Alan Dion and company. So Red Mountain able to keep the drive alive on the ground, and we'll see how things open up here as they're in red zone territory. Ball spotted right at the 20.
They're going to go with that same heavy look. They're going to call this Camelback or Ultra Heavy.
Jackson gets it again. He has the blocks, reads them, and back-to-back tackles for Alan Dion. It's not a good story for Salpointe when Alan Dion's making a lot of these tackles because he's the last line of defense playing safety. That means the ball's getting to the third level.
Yes, but we could also say that Salpointe is running a lot of that cover 1 and that Alan Dion is going to come up and they're going to add an extra guy in the box. There's Dion again. He makes his name known.
He pairs up with Elijah Valencia for the tackle this time. And it's first down and goal for Red Mountain at the 10.
Jake Bondi also there on the play too.
Another Salpointe player down on the field injured. And they've just been...
That's Noah Bondi. That's going to be a huge loss.
Yeah, that's their nose tackle. One of the best throughout the state. He's had some big games this season. Last year, 7.5 tackles for loss. 3.5 of them ended up being sacks and even an interception up there on the front line. So really an impact player and a playmaker for this defense, and also somebody who's been huge in the run-stopping game for them when they've been successful tonight. Pat Ryden heads out onto the field to check on his player, and we'll step away here with 7:47 left in the third on RMTV. Bonnier able to jog off onto the sideline under his own power, so always good to see. You never know what's going to happen when you get these big bodies in here. Who lands on the bottom, what goes on down there. He's got a couple of Red Mountain players in the vicinity. Anthony Peevler over there. Physical game, Nate.
Yeah, it's a wear and tear on the body.
Play action this time, and Caleb Joe looks to get out of bounds, and he does just that. Chased out by O.J. Flores, who's had an impactful night for Salpointe.
Yeah, O.J. Flores is also flying on this field for the Lancers. He's also been a big run stopper guy, and when Salpointe was able to get some pressure on Caleb Joe, usually O.J. Flores follows suit.
Yeah, and another good linebacking core to talk about. Him, Valencia, and Brian Melton, they all make an impact. Joe back to the ground, and Darius Courts back in the game for Red Mountain, and they haven't moved much since they got in goal-to-go territory. It looks like it'll be 3rd and goal from the 10 still.
No, if Salpointe's defense can bend but not break, that'd be a win in their favor. We got King Robinson on an island again.
We'll see if him or Jaden Wyndham have the advantage with their size. Joe feeling pressure, rolls out towards his sideline, and he finds Courts on the check down. Forced out of bounds right around the 5. And does the aggression stay present for Brian McDaniel where he wants to go for it? It does not look like it. Chase Pitzer and crew come out to attempt the field goal.
Yeah, play it safe. Just dump it to Darius Grayson Courts. He gets forced out of bounds by Elijah Valencia.
21-yard attempt from the right hash for number 22. Pitzer will have plenty of leg to get this there. Just depends on the accuracy, and he's having a good night. Every extra point's been through, and this time he tacks on 3 more with the field goal. 26-0, 6:56 left in the 3rd quarter. Red Mountain convert again, and we'll return on RMTV. Red Mountain have been close to perfect tonight, playing really solid fundamental football, and everything's going their way, but they're creating opportunity to be able to get it done, Nate.
Yeah, and then soon they're going to start rotating their 2s and 3s. Always a good vibe getting those guys in.
That time Pitzer still gets it into the end zone, but the wind working against him. Only got it about 5 yards deep.
Only 5.
Good job from the Salpointe defense on the previous drive to get in a goal-to-go situation and hold Red Mountain just to a field goal. You can tell this offense for Salpointe is just so close to hitting that big play, right? You've had Matthew Avalar look over the top a couple of times, a few drops and little mistakes here and there where the previous drive, David Rushing had the opportunity to extend it, just couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, we've seen what Matthew Avalar is capable of, scrambling outside the pocket, making plays, but ultimately his offensive line is just hasn't had his give him the ability to really create a big play.
Also a testament to the Red Mountain pass rush and the game plan that Enders has drawn up. Avalar goes down the sideline deep, Jackson in coverage, and it's just out of the reaching arms of R.J. Gorey.
Ooh, R.J. Gorey, he's going to run that wheel route. Red Mountain does a good job at covering it. Wheel route, you think it's an arrow, and then the wide receiver just shoots right up the field. barely out of his hands.
And he's had a few chances tonight, but he's coming off the biggest game of his career. He went 14 catches, 173 yards, 3 touchdowns a week ago against Saguaro. And Red Mountain has kept him pretty quiet tonight. Back to the ground game and positive yardage for Salpointe and a good push at the end. Pick up a 5 and trying to get a little something going on the back of Chris Cheney.
And Rocky Grandil on the field. Pick up a 5 brings up 3rd and 5.
Well, 3rd and 5. You're Salpointe. Do you continue running or do you put it in the hands of, or in the arm of Matthew Avalar? He's 4 of 9.
They go to the air over the middle, and Gorey able to rise to the occasion. Leaping catch to pick up the first down.
Derek Wilson with the tackle.
Just a good dig route over the stick by R.J. Gorey.
33.
Can't go wrong with a 10-yard dig route. It's all reliable. Gets above the linebacker and just underneath the safety.
Back to the ground on 1st and 10. Cheney bottled up as Vanderlinden was fighting on the right side, but James McGee, the one who ultimately makes the tackle.
By number 51, James McGee.
And he's one of those guys that is constantly in the backfield, especially this game.
I feel like, honestly, looking at it initially, the previous play that picked up the first down with Gorey, the throw may have been high to get him up, but I think it might have been a spot from Avalar. Like you said, you have to get over the first level. And also, Derek Wilson was right on top of Gorey, and he might have broken it up if it was lower and in the chest.
Make a good point. I said earlier in the broadcast, go for the pass breakup.
2nd and 10 and a scramble for Avalar, and he's been successful when he's been able to escape the pass rush, enough for a first down. And the drive stays alive for Salpointe. 4:47 left in the 3rd quarter, and they're starting to move the ball, and they haven't made it too deep across midfield tonight.
Yeah, they're starting to pick up some momentum. 51, James McGee, like I said, quite literally the previous play, he's a guy that constantly gets into the backfield.
Pistol look with Cheney set up back behind Avalar. Little miscommunication, and Avalar able to escape pressure, sidearm throw. Bounces it short of Gorey. I don't know if, like you say, the concept of Wang, that Red Mountain run, it looked like Salpointe may have been trying to do something there where Chris Cheney stepped up for the initial handoff and then looked like he was trying to pause and then get a secondary one, and there was just a little miscue between himself and Matthew Avalar.
Well, if we get to this replay,
I think he was just up to pass block maybe, and it got blown up.
yeah, that's our best guess.
Avalar away from the body. 2 tonight for Cornett. Can't evade R.J. Gorey, but Tyreek Cornett has 5 interceptions on the season.
And take a seat on the couch.
Is that the turnover couch? You see throughout college oftentimes, you know, the turnover chain, the turnover hat, the turnover insert item. Red Mountain get the turnover couch going.
I mean, Avalar just makes it too easy for Cornett. I mean, this is like pregame warm-ups. He's looking for R.J. Gorey. He just underthrows this ball. And let's head over to the turnover couch. Why not?
He really does it all. One of the top corners in the state of Arizona, 5 interceptions on the season already. punt returns for touchdowns, average yardage and kickoff return.
It was a 24-yard
And he even can throw you passes, as we saw earlier. He's just got to work on keeping the footing.
Penalty moves it back to the Salpointe 41, red mountain first and 10.
Who put the couch there? That's my guess. I didn't see it when I was walking the field pregame. They must have just put it out there. Does that look like that? No, that's not the couch they have in the locker room.
It'll cost Red Mountain a little bit of yardage going over to the turnover couch. Penalty thrown as they're backed up here. Just the spot of the ball, but 1st and 10. Under center for Caleb Joe. He goes play action on 1st down, takes a deep shot, and that one's picked off. So the two teams trade turnovers as Alan Dion has it and a cavalry of blockers. And it's essentially like nothing happened. The interception thrown by Salpointe. Right around this area, they get the ball right back.
30 yards on the interception return. And Lancers will take over.
So that was a, I hate to use this term reality check, but that's like a, you got to bring them down a little bit. Like, hey, guys, we still got a game to play.
First interception of the season for Dion. And a good time here as the game starting to get away from Salpointe a little bit, but they get the offense back on the field and an opportunity to cut the lead.
Yeah, Alan Dion is just going to play this ball. And it looked like Caleb Joe was going to King Robinson on that vertical.
Well, back-to-back interceptions, a lot of action down there on the field, and the closest guy to it, Rome Cady. What you got on the sideline?
I saw this couch before the pregame as well, and I mean, I couldn't really tell you where or how that even got there, but it's a pretty interesting celebration that the guys just had over that interception with Tyreek Cornetta's 5th in the season, guys.
So Salpointe take over right at midfield, 1st down and 10 from the 50. Just 4 seconds left on the play clock, so Avalar's got to get going. Flag flies, he gets the snap off, officials let it play, throws underneath, incomplete.
Avalar's pass, incomplete.
Unable to connect there with Bryant Lopez.
Penalty on the play is illegal shift against Salpointe. Will be
And Salpointe has another penalty.
15.
The illegal shift, and that backs things up, and just killing the momentum that you have with those 1st down penalties right after a turnover at midfield and brought just behind now. So Avalar and company look over to the sideline to get the play. Chris Cheney remains in the backfield for this Salpointe attack. Gorey has the reception near sideline, looks to set up a block, and great pursuit by Cole Edmonds to get it done. Just looked to find a block from Bryant Lopez, and he never got it.
Pick up a 2, 2nd down.
This is a good job by Cole Edmonds playing with his eyes up. You see another corner flying to the ball. Kind of just took yourself out of the play by doing that.
Avalar tries to set up the screen, dangerous area.
Avalar's pass incomplete.
Can't connect, and a little bit of frustration from Isaac Moyle underneath, not being able to get a hand on the ball.
Well, we could have had a big man pick.
3rd down and 13.
Like you said, that's uncharted territory if you're running a screenplay. That is exactly why you see a lot of screenplays stay outside to the receivers. Trips to the far side.
3rd and 13, the Red Mountain D looking to stand up. Josh Lee, Yosemite, sin on the line. Direct rollout, looking for the sticks, just over the top, and a 1st down. Good battle by R.J. Gorey to be able to fight for the 2nd effort and get the sticks.
Tackled by Tyreek Cornetta.
I mean, that ball was pretty close to being intercepted again for a 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, that was Cole Edmonds who leaped about 10 feet in the air Forget the ladder. He took the escalator on that one. He hopped way up in the air.
Fresh set of downs for Salpointe as they're in Red Mountain territory at the 39. 2:24 left in the third here on RMTV. Back to the ground. Chris Cheney has not been able to get anything going on the ground tonight. And it's something that Salpointe have wanted to establish and just not been able to, but it's also something that they have great history in. A lot of you know at the NFL level, a guy named Bijan Robinson. Well, this is his alma mater. State record in Arizona, 7,036 career yards, 114 total touchdowns off the ground and through the air. One of the best talents to ever come through this state.
So we talk about winning the line of scrimmage, and whoever wins the line of scrimmage is going to determine if that line of scrimmage goes this way or that way. Well, right now, this thing right here is going this way, and that means Red Mountain is beating the Salpointe offensive line.
Avalar drops back, goes through the air, and he's sacked. Wade and Edmonds, the dynamic duo of the linebacking core, padding the stat line, and it's a big loss. All the way back to the own 49 of Salpointe, and they need the 29 to pick up the first.
Them boys eating today. Full course meal.
They need 22 to have the first down. Only 12 left on the play clock, and they're still looking to the sideline awaiting the call. Two seconds left on the play clock and a timeout forced to be taken by Salpointe. And the home crowd stays excited as the Red Mountain defense come up with another big stop and a sack, and we'll see if they can get off the field. 3rd and 22 on the other side of the break. Just 30 seconds left in the third quarter on RMTV. Salpointe looked to make a big effort here on 3rd down and 22 to keep the drive alive. They've already extended it once with a big play from R.J. Gorey. But right now, down 26-0. They got to pull out all the stops.
3rd and long. I'm expecting a deep. Oh, I was saying a deep attack.
Right there, just trying to kind of manage the sticks as Gorey gets the pass underneath, and he's able to get back close to the original line of scrimmage. Makes it a lot more manageable on 4th down, and they'll keep the offense out here.
4th and 14, ball at the 43.
They need 14 to pick up the first, and James McGee checks back into the game for Josh Lee. And he's made an impact, one of the top pass rushers for this team. And that's the end of the third quarter. Red Mountain on top, 26-0 as we enter the fourth. We'll have all the action for the rest of the game, and we'll see you on the other side on RMTV. 12 left on the clock here at Jim Jones Field as we enter the fourth quarter. A 26-0 lead for Red Mountain at home. Alongside Nate Smith, I'm Zach Warhack. And a 4th and 14 awaits this Salpointe offense, trying to do anything to stay alive in this game right now, but it's been an uphill battle.
Yeah, from the get-go, ever since the punt block, Salpointe has basically been going uphill and not going anywhere. Red Mountain is just stifling them any chance they get.
Starting the fourth quarter is
So Red Mountain set up and a lot of the usual suspects out there, and Matthew Avalar takes to it in the gun. RJ Gorey has been his main go-to target throughout this game, especially on big downs. Avalar facing pressure again, steps up in the pocket, can't get away this time. The ball's on the ground, and James McGee with the sack, forced fumble, and Red Mountain continue to dominate on the defensive side of the ball.
Just a true testament at what this unit is capable of. With 4 guys, they all get home. And it looks like Crew Vanderlinden was on the stop there. If not, James McGee. He was the second guy there.
And that man, Yosinese, able to scoop it up and recover the fumble. So would have been a turnover on downs, but a fumble recovery goes to the stat line. Just 9 seconds into the fourth. Red Mountain with a huge play.
All good vibes for the boys in gunmetal gray.
Everybody in motion to start this play. Just 3 seconds left to get the snap off. They do it just in time. Darius Court's out on an island, and you're not going to escape O.J. Flores one-on-one.
Yeah, he's been really good at showing up for the Salpointe Lancers pretty much this entire night. If there's a run play, it's coming right at him.
Loss of 3 on first down as Caleb Joe looks to keep operating the offense. And I really think that's something that we need to talk about, and kind of a lack of a conversation that's been here for us. The mentality that Caleb Joe has, right? He knows that the transfer is coming from Chandler and Dominic Carmigiano, and it's his job when he's eligible, right? He knows that, but Caleb Joe is still operating this offense, successful, doing what he needs to get this team wins, and they're in a great spot, right? Number 8 in the state of Arizona right now, fighting to have a shot at the open bracket here, and he's doing everything he can, and he's not hurt about the possibility or the likelihood of him, not being the starter once Carmigiano gets eligibility.
Yeah, and it's only up from here for Caleb Joe. And we're looking at the grades. Dominic Carmigiano is a senior. Caleb Joe is a junior. And we look at, quarterback or 2 quarterback systems. I look at Higley. Great shovel pass there. But we look at 2 quarterback systems like Higley's from a year ago, Luke Hago and Gunnar Fagrell. Look at where Gunnar Fagrell is at right now. One of the best quarterbacks in the state. So he's in a great spot in his high school career.
Yeah, just a testament of his mindset too, really being called upon and having to start this season the way he has. And Brian McDaniel has set him up great. They've operated extremely well in the run game, but the deep balls have been fantastic. We talk about how we've seen it tonight already, a 33-yard touchdown over the top to King Robinson. So Salpointe pick up a stop here, and Pitzer gets ready to boot it away. He'll step into it at his own 40. Friendly bounce and goes out right around the 15. As the Red Mountain defense back out onto the field as Salpointe take over. Pitzer's had a stat line that's been pretty special, right? 1 for 1 on the field goals tonight. The extra points have been perfect. Only missed 1 extra point on the season. And on top of it, he's laid the wood 1 time. Big tackle to his credit on a kickoff return.
The last line of defense, the kicker.
It wasn't one of those where he just bailed out on it either. He invited it and he went and made the stop.
I feel like if it ever comes down to the returner versus the kicker, you're either getting put on a highlight reel or for the returner, or the kicker gets an added highlight for his kicking reels.
Another muff snap. That's a tough look, and
it's a
Red
cake
Mountain
and
ball.
got it.
Well, and that wasn't Matthew Avalar. He was relieved of his duties, and Race Alvarez checked into the game at quarterback. And the first snap a little low off the knee, and Goddard gets it.
Yeah, and Cade Goddard is just going to come right off the edge, causing confusion, disturbing the peace.
Right now, 1st and 10 at the Salpointe 12.
And he just yanks this away. Yoink, that's mine. And just nonchalantly, he gets up. He's like, hey, man, this is mine. He doesn't celebrate. He's like, hey, this is my ball.
Can you tell me what position he plays again?
Defense, that's what he plays.
Is it the same line and unit, though, as Jamison Wade and Cole Edmonds and other guys who have blown up the game tonight?
Yeah, just Red Mountain in general. They're just known for their linebackers.
Linebacker you, man. Champ Genix, one to graduate a year ago. These guys are special. Courts gets the carry on first down. Not much room. Back to the line of scrimmage. Flores with the stop as he's through to double-digit tackles on the night.
And it's just really
Timeout on the field.
poetic that Kyle Enders, who is a linebacker himself, he really prides himself in creating a strong defense. And this linebacker core, dating as far back as, when Mike Peterson was a coach, has just been Red Mountain's strong point. You got the Parker McClures, you got the Skylar Edmonds, relation to Cole Edmonds, that's one of his older brothers. Tanner DeMassa, Caleb Heydrich, just a bunch of guys to go through the Red Mountain pipeline and do great things at the next level.
I wasn't going to talk until you stopped pulling names. I thought you could go forever with that one. The history man himself here, and it's just a testament to this entire team, right? It can start there, but everyone's doing their job. The secondary is extremely special, too. When you put Tyreek Cornett out of an island, you have faith in him against the best receivers in the state of Arizona to be able to lock up.
And they're just playing as one unit. And if anybody wants to ask me, well, where's the proof of that? We just show them this 2-hour tape.
We've seen it everywhere. We just highlighted the linebacking core in the secondary, but then the pass rush has been there, right? Lazander To'a has gotten in plenty of times. James McGee has blown stuff up. And then you get the third down specialists of Josh Lee as well as Yosanese who have made an impact. Red Mountain look to punch their ticket here up 26-0.
Following the timeout. 2nd and 10 at the 12.
Is set up at the 12, and Grayson Courts has another carry as he goes back behind that line. And the big pullback tackle from Isaac Moyle.
Number 8, Isaac Moyle.
So Red Mountain looking to get this one punched in to extend the lead. Peevler checks out of the game, and we'll see when they elect to go through the air, right? The previous time when they were in the red zone goal-to-go situation, they checked it down to Darius Courts, and then elected to kick a field goal. Play action. Caleb Joe gets out of the pocket. No one open in the end zone. And wisely just throws it away. So we'll see what they elect to do. They send the special teams unit right back out onto the field as they attempt a field goal. And Pitzer has been really stellar here. A little bit of a deeper look than the last time for Chase Pitzer, but he's been confident
On for a field goal attempt.
in kicking with a lot of aura throughout this season. Desmond McCarthy in on the hold.
Well, you pulled that word out, aura.
26-yard attempt.
Yeah, you thought I wouldn't catch that.
I'm just talking over here. That's what I do. I talk.
And we are yappers, right?
Pitzer, good leg on this one, and he stays true. So Red Mountain extend the lead 29-0 with 9:03 left here in the fourth quarter. And we look forward to see what these teams have. And just the initial peek at the schedule for Salpointe, oh my goodness. It is a gauntlet for these guys. They stay here with Red Mountain tonight, but then ALA Queen Creek is the next matchup for this team.
Yeah, they got some dudes they got to play. And rounding out that schedule with Basha, Perry, and Pinnacle, that's going to be a rough matchup. And on the Red Mountain side of things, there's really no more easy games. They got their homecoming against Gilbert, but that's a trap game. I mean, you're playing Gilbert on your homecoming night. But let's think about next week. A rematch against Brophy on their home field. Are they going to take them to the woodshed again? My thoughts on that on the next pregame show.
Yeah, good tease there. That's broadcasting 101. Look at you doing your job. That's going to be an exciting one. A lot of talent on both sides of the ball for Brophy. Coaching staff is incredible over there. We know what those guys are capable of, making run after run after run. And, man, you just have name after name that's been through that program. Just like you were talking about with Red Mountain, they got plenty of guys over there, too.
Yeah, and then going back to that schedule, it's just so, talking to the coaches, it's just so awkward having a Mountain View game. The Battle of Brown Road in the middle point of the season. I mean, yes, Queen Creek was the team that ultimately snapped that unbeaten streak, but it's just so awkward having Mountain View in the middle of your schedule.
Yeah, the rivalry week with 4 weeks left in the season, but Tate Reynolds and them boys over at Queen Creek did it to Red Mountain last season. It's just such a gauntlet for Salpointe, though. You see Bashaw on that list. Perry, one of your favorite things to do in the booth is just show me score updates, and we're seeing what Perry's doing tonight.
Yeah, Perry at halftime, they were beating Highland 22-3. That Highland offense very stagnant in the early part of the season. They haven't really found a groove.
I don't want to say plenty of time, but still time to figure some things out. Week 4 here in the season be coming to a conclusion in 9 minutes and 3 seconds up on the scoreboard rather here. Play clock down to 15. And Race Alvarez stays in the game at quarterback for Salpointe.
Yeah, and Salpointe is a unit that plays very well. They have a great quarterback, a great run game. They just can't get it against a good team like Red Mountain. I think if they figure that out, I'd say midway through the season, they're going to be a threat. Now, do they have the chance at being like a top seed in the Open, like an 8th seed? Play spoiler, up for debate. Play-in, absolutely.
Just depends how the rest of the season goes from this point on, right? It's week in and week out. These guys, when they pick up a win, they'll celebrate Friday night, but then it's just tunnel vision on to the next one.
Yeah, like you said, tunnel vision. You hit the weight room Saturday, get a flush lift in, do some yoga, and then Monday, start of a whole new thing.
That pass rush gets home again. Vander Linden, To'a, and Cade Godair all swarming. Jamison Wade ends up landing on top of Alvarez, but everyone's involved.
Oh, you just hate to see it.
Vander Linden coming off limping.
And that's you hate to see those late game injuries. Just comes at a time where your starters aren't really needed per se. And you think it might be time to start rotating the 2s and 3s.
And he looks like he's all good, standing up on the sideline, pointing to the family, having a good time. So that's good to see there that it's not anything too serious. Alvarez goes play action, escapes the pressure, throws over the top, and a good snag, able to stay in bounds? No. Man. That was a great effort by David Rushing, and he's just come so close on so many tonight.
We got a penalty on the near side.
4th and 21. There was a penalty, ineligible receiver downfield against Salpointe.
He doesn't get the foot down. Ooh. Nope.
Yeah, real close. Ball never got fully secured, and an ineligible receiver downfield also makes things a little bit tough.
I mean, they declined it. They being Red Mountain, they're going to send the punt unit out. 4th and 20.
Deep in their own territory, and we've seen the pressure from Red Mountain's punt unit, the coverage team, bring it all. We'll see what Josh Barge, the coordinator of this special teams unit, has drawn up here. Already a safety tonight on the board for Red Mountain. Possibility for more, or the explosiveness of Tyreek Cornett out at the 43. Punt is out, and he has time if he can hang on to it.
Whole lot of green.
Cornett cuts back, ducks under, loses the lid, and a flag comes in late at the end of it. I think Cornett had some words to say to Isaac Moyle there, and it may back things up.
I hope they were nice words, though. Positivity.
Personal foul, face mask.
No, it's nothing on any extracurricular activity. It goes against the tackle of Isaac Moyle, and that sets up good field position for Red Mountain.
Oh, the face mask.
Just a little bit. So that's what caused the helmet to come off. 7:05 left in the 4th, and good field position as Red Mountain start from the Salpointe 15 after the return plus penalty. To the ground, Darius Courts, couple of cutbacks, and he's met by Chris Cheney, the running back on the other side of the field. Two-way player makes the tackle for Salpointe.
Well, Red Mountain's got their starters still in the game.
Yeah, not taking the foot off the gas.
Yeah, 7 minutes, less than 7 minutes actually of the game, and they still have all their starters in. And Brian McDaniel's still calling freeze plays.
Go to the air this time, and they find Wyndham on the near sideline. He makes a couple moves, and he's down out around the 1 yard line. And the spot sets up at the 2. You know what that means when they get to the 2? Cue the big boys.
Yep, send them in. Oh, well, maybe not. They waved Jamison Wade back to the sideline.
2/3 of the big boys. What, the Bash brothers, the Bash trio? You get Deuce Latouille, Anthony Peevler out there. Handoff, Kai Jackson, and he fights forward. They say he stopped just shy of the line to gain. Caleb Joe, he's been one of those top sneakers throughout this season. 2 touchdowns on quarterback sneaks.
I mean, just way to work on Salpointe's defense. And we got a little bit of a communication issue.
Yeah, Red Mountain only had 10 on the field here.
Timeout, Red Mountain.
So Deuce Latouille was coming off, and I don't think he was supposed to. That would make it a pretty easy stop for Salpointe, right? If they can get an extra hat on an extra hat. So this is a film that I think that we've seen before. Red Mountain up 29-0. Off to a 4-0 start on the season, unless anything spectacularly crazy or overwhelming happens in the game tonight. What needs to change for the end result of this year to be different? Because they rattled off so many wins against big opponents last year, right? And then you talked about Tate Reynolds and the squad over at Queen Creek ending things for the winning streak that Red Mountain had. And then it ended up being 4 straight losses, including that loss to Centennial in the playoffs.
I think they just need to keep playing as a unit. Ultimately, this brand of football that we're witnessing tonight should be the brand of football that we see from here on out. And, you know, they're playing against Brophy. I mean, Brophy's a team that has a lot of talk to their name, you know, with Devin Fitzgerald, Donovan McNabb, Kason Vandenbosch, and all those guys. donning the Bronco on their helmet. But if we're being honest, it's teams like this that play as one unit, one entity that get it done. And in order to make that kind of propulsion into the season, you got to play like that against good teams. Not to say Salpointe isn't a good team. They just need to continue this trend against other teams.
Well, Red Mountain trending in the right direction here as Caleb Joe punches in a sneak for his third rushing touchdown of the year. And that one should put the stamp on it. And it's not like those games were runaway at the end of the season for Red Mountain. They played Hamilton extremely tight. Lost to them by 2 points, and then Queen Creek was a 5-point difference, and then Mountain View, the Battle of Brown Road, a high-scoring affair, but just unable to come out on top in that one.
See, I'm going to kind of piggyback off that one. So you mentioned that this kind of start is what we seen last year. It's the same start we seen the year prior, too. Red Mountain had an undefeated record, and then all of a sudden they hit the conference play, and they just absolutely... They coasted. That's what Red Mountain did. They coasted. They let off the gas a little bit. But mind you, once we hit the postseason, all the records reset.
Yeah, and they certainly had to battle back from that because when you look at it, it all started when they played against Highland, as you mentioned, and then it was 5 straight losses against Highland, ALA, Queen Creek, and then you lose to Hamilton out of conference. Then Mountain View gets the first one on you to end the season. But then you beat Mountain View in the playoffs, and then the run starts. The big Zay Savoy game against Brophy to be able to punch their ticket into the state championship at the 6A level against Saguaro.
And adding on to a little bit of Brophy history, Red Mountain has had their number 3 times in the postseason. To Brophy, Red Mountain is basically Red Mountain's Highland, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just kind of that kryptonite, the one that feels like there's always going to be that stiff competition and the level of it. But 2 years ago, kind of when we saw that matchup, it was the story that, oh, this is Brophy and this is Red Mountain. They're not going to be able to compete as tight as, people think they are or yada, 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 whatever they say. They came out and proved it.
Yeah,
and they played them tight one year. Then they play them tight another year, and it's become a sort of matchup that I think it also gets in these guys' heads when you're playing an opponent where, it's not right down the road like Mountain View. It's something you get up for because you get to a different part of the state. You get to experience a different team, and you're hype and ready for that matchup.
Yeah, and you get to experience the attitude that said team gives you. I mean, getting put in the woodshed does suck.
Positive yardage and a big play here on the handoff. Gain of 8. From the side of Salpointe, and a good sight for them to see. Adrian Jett on the carry. His second one of the evening, as we'll see what him, Race Alvarez, and company can put together here on what could be the final drive of the evening. Back to the ground and plugged up in the second level, but not before a first down's picked up. And things getting a little bit chippy after the whistle. Guys having to be pulled away. Briggs Wiltbank keeps things safe as he helps a teammate get out of a little bit of a sticky situation.
I mean, in effect, the game is already won. You don't want to dig yourself into a deeper hole by missing the next game. And here come your 2s and 3s.
Yeah, it was Brashad Edwards who got into it after the play. Alvarez through the air, and that time rushing, able to come down with it. It's just funny how things work in football, right? You see him have that free catch right into his stomach on the near sideline earlier that he just dropped straight up. And that time he climbs the ladder, high points the ball, gets the hands out, and hangs on to it.
Does wonders when you catch with your hands and not with your pads.
So 1st and 10 as the Salpointe offense begin to move here on what's looking like the final drive of this game. And they set this one up to Gorey, who looks to get the edge, and he finds the outside with a burst of speed, cut back and brought down by the jersey. Another first down, and Gorey will end up having a pretty good night, as he was the highest target of both Avalar and now Alvarez.
And most of these guys are scout team players. They don't realistically, the thing that they work towards in practice is giving the first team offense a great look. Now, put it into game perspective, you're trying to preserve the shutout.
Alvarez takes a deep shot to the end zone. Jump ball scenario.
No.
Wow. Hung on to, toe tapped inbounds, and David Rushing.
Wait, we don't have a signal.
In the end zone, but the officials bringing this one back to the 35. Man, it was close.
Well, let's see if this end zone cam can get a good look at it. I can do my best to pause it right when it happens. Oh, man.
That is as close as it gets. That's a judgment call from the official.
I'm going to pat myself on the back for that pause.
Yeah, that was good work. I think the production crew's happy with you. Might have a job with them if you need it. Burchank with the carry that time, as Salpointe just shuffling the players, letting the clock bleed. 20 seconds left. We'll see if they take a shot at the end zone to end the shutout. Alvarez rolls left, pancake block by Burchank, quarterback hit. That one sails out of bounds. And the clock continues to bleed down and hits double zeros. Red Mountain come on top with a 36-0 victory. A big shutout for them and their first one of the season. A real success story for this defense, and, well, the battle of the undefeateds won by Red Mountain handedly.
Someone's O had to go, and that was going to be the Salpointe Catholic Lancers, 36-0. And just frankly, poetry on the side of Red Mountain.
The teams shake hands at midfield to end this game. We'll take a quick break and be back with you for all the post-game action here on RMTV. A 36-0 victory for Red Mountain at home. A big statement with a shutout win, and our own Rome Cady down on the sideline with head coach Kyle Enders after the big win.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Coach, 4-0 now. You read the scoreboard, it says 36-0. What was the biggest pinpoint of success for you in this game?
Putting all three phases of the game together. Being able to not give up the big plays, move the sticks when we needed to, and like we said at halftime, control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
And now that last year this team was 4-0 and you reeled off a bunch of losses at the end of the season, what is going to have to change for you guys to keep going the rest of the year?
Let's get to 7-0 before we start talking about losses.
It's fair enough. And then I just think, you know, with Brophy coming up, there's talent littered up and down the roster, 4 stars, 5 stars alike. How can this team stack up, and why do you think this team can stack up to that type of talent on the roster?
Last 4 times we played Brophy, they've had loaded talent just like this, and they've never beat us. Same shit. We're Red Mountain, and we're going to show up like Red Mountain. We don't care how many offers they have, who's on their team, just like tonight. We're going to show up and play our style of football.
Is that style of football, gritty style of football for you?
Yeah, it's gritty. It's 3 phases of the game. It's selflessness. I don't give a shit who the running back is, the quarterback, who the safeties are, whatever it is. These kids are going to show up. They show up every day in practice, and obviously we show up on Fridays.
Congrats on the win, Coach. Thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
Coach, one more.
Well, it'll be a happy squad going into the weekend for Red Mountain, a shutout win, and they played great on all 3 levels. We mentioned it time and time again, Nate, but offense, defense, special teams, check, check, check.
Yeah, just a quintessential perfect game for Red Mountain. On the part of Salpointe, they got some things to do up front. And it starts up front with that offensive line. It just gave up too many pressures to Red Mountain's front 7, and frankly, that's why the Red Mountain front 7 was unstoppable.
Well, when they play so good in all 3 levels of the game, it makes things wide open for our player of the game for Red Mountain. I'll let you start with who you like most tonight, Nate.
Okay, so I'm going to leave this one to I'm going to go with the front 7, specifically the linebackers. They've been, I mean, defensive line, everybody was getting after the quarterback, and Kyle Enders just does a great job at drawing up pressures and ultimately getting to the quarterback and stopping the run.
Yeah, the front 7, the one player of the game for you. That's a big call. I like that. They played extremely well tonight. You see the guys like James McGee, Crew Vanderlyn, Lysander To'a get involved, and that guy right there is my player of the game. 2 interceptions, one of them a pick 6, getting nasty in there. Tyreek Cornett getting the job done, and the family here in front of the press box, and they certainly like that call. But he's just playing stellar week in and week out, right? He's locking up receivers, reading quarterbacks, making tackles, getting in on the offensive side of the ball, throwing passes. What is this guy not doing for the team right now?
I mean, he's the tool player, and we talk about guys who play baseball, they're the utility player, and he's just really the go-to guy for this Red Mountain squad.
Yeah, super special on the defensive side of the ball, captained by Kyle Enders, leading the ship. But the run game gets involved. You talk about the big bodies on the defensive side. Well, one of those guys, Jamison Wade, comes into play and makes some big blocks on the offensive side to spring Kai Jackson for a touchdown. A lot of people get involved, including, well, inanimate objects. The turnover couch made its debut tonight for the Red Mountain Lions. That was fun.
I wonder if it's going to make a regular appearance here at Jim Jones Field.
Well, and while we see things get serious down on the field for a little bit of postgame with the team, it also gets serious with the upcoming schedule for these guys. Big ones down the remainder of the line. We'll have the rest of the season for you throughout the way, and you look at that Red Mountain schedule. Obviously, the Brophy one jumps out to us that we have next, but what else do you like matchup-wise here, Nate?
Matchup-wise, I mean, it's hard to not look at that Mountain View game. You go on to Jesse Parker Field, you got some unfinished business to do, and then you round it off with Queen Creek proper. Kind of get your lick back.
Well, Red Mountain get the shutout tonight. They'll be a happy squad going into the weekend for the entire student-run production crew here, as well as Rome Katie down on the sideline. My co-commentator, my color guy, Nate Smith. I've been Zach Warhack. Everybody have a fun, safe weekend, and we'll see you next week for a big one against Brophy.